Okay. We are live with Reggie Wright Jr. and Mob James, who was the original, very first Homeboy Security. You'll also know him as the brother of Timmy Rue and Buntry. Thanks, guys, for joining us tonight. And I'm sorry we're a little bit late than usual, but, stuff happens, so what can you do? So as people come in and filter in, Reggie, are you able to view the chat with me? That way if people ask questions, we can ask Mob James what the people want to know.
Yeah. I just wanted to explain Mob James a little bit. For those that don't know you, Mob James is the one of the originals, the first one that, matter of fact, he's the one Suge came to, and I'll let him explain more to that to hook up with the homeboys in the mob area. Mob James is where the name the Mob Roots came from. I really believe, but I'll let him explain more of that to you. Either one.
Well, that's a little too much credit, but I was one of the ones that actually put it where it was.
Okay.
Getting out of prison in '88, Suge came to me.
Okay.
My brother Buntry was in prison. The majority of the guys that was security for Death Row was in prison at the time. Suge was never one of the homeboys.
Mm-hmm.
He lived there. We rode motorcycles together, our dirt bikes. And when I got out of prison, he came to me. He looked out for me and told me that he was doing the Budweiser Superfest. So he was a security guard at the time. And I hooked up with him, and we started doing it. And then we hooked up with a guy named Thomas Klein, which was a rich guy out in Beverly Hills, and he had his own company, insurance, exotic cars, and all that. And I hooked up with him, and we put together Fern Hill Records, and that's where it took off from.
Okay. Yeah, okay. I heard about the guy Klein.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. John, you got any questions yet, or you just want?
Yeah. When you said you guys set up that record label, how early was that before Death Row was started and before that became Death Row?
Fern Hill Records was '89,
mm-hmm.
and then we started recruiting DLC. One of our biggest things was to get Dre and Michelle from Jerry Heller and Easy.
Mm-hmm.
We did a quote unquote a takeover. Went to Ruthless Records and tried to get their contracts from them. Mm-hmm. They wanted out of their contracts, which we did, but Easy didn't see it that way and didn't want to give up his part of his ownership on them. Meaning it the contracts, and Suge settled for whatever he settled for from Jerry Heller, mm-hmm. and Dre and Michelle came over to us, and then '90 is when he started getting with people to invest in Death Row,
mm-hmm.
meaning he got with Harry O, he got with DLC, what little money Dre had. Thomas Klein, he got with a lot of people, and Death Row was launched.
Mm-hmm. Now, when you went to, I guess, talk with Easy about getting the releases for Dre and Michelle and all that, there's an infamous story about what happened that night. Were you present there or no?
I was there. I was Suge's big homie. I was the one that. Okay, you sit down, she'll go in the office and you talk to Jerry. And that's how business was conducted.
Okay.
Did nobody do nothing until it was cool with me.
Mm-hmm.
And Suge went in there, came out, you happy? And you say we good, we left.
Okay. So the scene that's like in the documentaries and Straight Outta Compton where Dre calls Easy and says, I want to work this out, blah, 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 come to the studio. And then he shows up and Suge and a couple of guys are there and they quote unquote force him to release the contracts. That's not what you're referring to, right? Or is that the same thing?
Let me tell you something. that movie was such a crock. It was all bullshit. None of that didn't happen. It didn't go down like that. If I could have just like really explained to you how when we came out, nobody said nothing. Suge didn't have to go and get at nobody. Easy wouldn't come see us. Easy would talk on the phone, and he come out with that record. That's why he's still getting paid off of Dre Day and all of this, which is right because he still had his contract.
Okay, but
they didn't care about that.
But didn't he allegedly try to sue Suge and people because he claims that he was forced under threats to let Michelet, DOC, and Dre go?
Exactly. Yes, he did.
Okay.
Yes, he did.
But that was false.
But but what happened was we seen Eazy-E at they had this show they put on Sunset where up and new coming rappers and all of these people would come to amateur night, and we seen him there, and the situation was squashed there. Then we seen him in another situation at the Coliseum, and that's when he gave Suge what he wanted.
Okay. All right, let's see.
So, was he bullied? Yes.
Okay. But it wasn't as dramatic as they played it out to be in the movie.
Not at all. Not at all. He didn't get beat up by 10 dudes. Dre wasn't beating up security. None of that. The whole movie was a joke.
Okay. And so once that happens and you guys start to get, you get Michelet, you get Dre, you guys find Snoop and the Dog Pound, these guys. At what point did you realize this label went from, we want to try to do this to it's the biggest thing going right now?
Well, I knew it was going to be big once Dre cut that first song. I knew when DLC had his hand in it, when they first came, Death Row was finna take off. Suge knew that. And, I mean, it's so much that went on behind the scene. A lot of people don't know. A lot of people don't understand how Suge was getting down. Suge cut a lot of corners. Suge was scaring a lot of people into getting what he wanted because of us. Because of us. Suge used to make threats to people and say what we were going to do to people without us even knowing that he was doing it. But he was getting what he wanted. And when the phone started ringing off the hook and everybody wanted to come, then Suge knew right then and there he got a gold mine. He got a gold mine.
Now, in these early times when he was, using you guys as the muscle or as the leverage to get what he wanted, was he taking care of you initially?
Honestly, and I've said it in a lot of my interviews, no. Me as the main one, I was getting $1,500, maybe $2,000 every 2 weeks, a week. If you did different things, you got paid for that, which he called bonuses. But not like, I think I should have been a millionaire right there with him because I was there with him from the beginning. Suge didn't know no Bloods. Suge didn't know half of the people that was security. He didn't know who Heron was. He didn't know who. He actually met my brother Buntry when Buntry got out the penitentiary. He never hung with Buntry. He never kicked it with Buntry. And all of these guys I introduced him to. And when the people, let's say Hammer and all of these rappers and singers seen us, they were afraid of Suge, and he got what he wanted. But paying us, I mean, there was some guys on the payroll getting $600 a week, $400 a week. It was some of them that left their row and went back to the streets of crime. They wouldn't get nothing. I mean, just change. They was doing better with their hustle than they was getting at Death Row, especially for what he asked of you, what he wanted you to be and do for Death Row. So no, it wasn't worth it being.
Let's talk about some of the John, some of the homie stuff. That's what a lot of the questions coming in about.
Yeah.
Well, first, James, tell them the name that Death Row was before the name, because I know you know the name before the.
Death Row was Fern Hill Records first.
Yeah.
Fern Hill Records,
Yeah.
and it didn't get nothing, and then we switched it to Death Row Records.
Yeah. And then, Marv, just before we forget, I just wanted to clear up, and I guess this is some personal on my behalf, is if you can just explain that you being Buntry brother, you love him to death. A lot of people out there, and they put out that Reggie Sr. was in the car with Buntry when, unfortunately, when he got shot at the gas station in Compton.
No.
Could you put that to
No.
rest?
And this I've been wanting to clear up with a lot of people. Reggie Wright, man, is like we call Reggie Uncle. We live right down the street from a house, and then their house was on the corner. We took care and went to the store for Reggie, Mama, and Pops. That the Wrights are like, they are family. So nothing like that. The shit that I hear these people talking, it's just a lot of people adding on to the other bullshit that they hearing. They wasn't in the neighborhood. They ain't seen this. And they don't know Reggie Wright.
And he's talking about Reggie Sr.,
Yeah, Senior. And the cool thing about Reggie Senior is Reggie knew all the Bloods. He knew all the Crips.
Mm-hmm.
And it ain't too many Bloods that was mad. You gonna get some niggas mad and don't like, but the majority and all the real gangbangers in Compton, he had a good rapport with. So I don't know where this other shit coming from. He was never like that.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that was it. It's a guy by the name of Street Vault, James, and we're gonna get back to some more of your history, but we want to ask some of the questions from the people too, because this is what we're really trying to do this show about, so they can get stuff off their chest. Guy Street Vault, he wanted to know a little bit about the history of how the mob broke away and became mob versus the looters, or if you can explain, was it the looters part versus the mob, and just how that history came up. How did y'all become mob from looters?
Well, back then the mob and looters was pretty much the same thing, but when the big homies start fighting China Dog them on that side, they said we ain't doing looters no more. And some woman seen 15 of the homies walking together, damn, y'all mobbing. And that's when Bojangles them start saying, okay, we the mob. So the mob broke from Looters Park, but we still was good with each other. It was mob Looters Park.
Yeah.
So after that happened, then Buntry was killed. It was all over.
Yeah, the mob Looters. And when he's saying across, he meaning across Rosecrans.
Yeah.
You had the north side and the south side. The south side of Rosecrans was looters, and the north side of Rosecrans, where the Compton drive-ins and all of that stuff was behind the Sears, the old Sears, which is now the Walmart, is the mob Pyro area. Is what he is trying to explain to you guys. Okay, we wanted to clear up that, and then somebody wants you to talk about Heron just a little bit. If you can tell about Heron and what went down with that, and what you feel went down with that shooting. If you want to talk on whatever you can about Heron.
With Heron and if I can do a roll call up with Heron, Big J, Chin, all of these brothers, Buntry, Hen Dog, everybody fell up under the Suge Knight effect. When some brothers found out that how much Buntry was making and how much Heron was making or how much George was making, they got mad. Suge would tell one thing, he turned the homies against each other and tell another homie another story. So now we are fighting amongst each other. We stabbing each other. And then eventually it came to shooting each other. So Heron was killed because you ain't finna beat him up. You got 15 guys with the same mentality, a penitentiary mentality, and they ain't going nowhere. So you got two pet bulls in the cage, they gonna fight. So Suge thing was, okay, I'm gonna buy you this. Oh, meet me at the office. I'm gonna make it up to you. But I mean, the damage was done, and he killed it.
Mm.
Suge killed it. He had everybody fighting against each other. He if you argue at Suge gonna give you some money.
Yeah.
And a lot of the homies knew that.
Yeah.
But then you had some homies that didn't like, like say for me, I didn't, I argued and about to fight one of my brothers, the homeboys, Rock, because he was ready to whoop Suge ass. No, hold up, no, he from the mob. So we so-called ourselves protecting our own, but we was all bloods. And we all fell apart. That's why it is where it is now, because of Suge. And we allowed this dude to come in, giving us peanuts, and we fighting over it.
Yeah.
And we fighting each other over it. And we lost 10 homeboys behind Suge.
Yeah.
It's sad. It's sad.
Hey, Street Ball, okay, I'm just call their names and you can tell them what set they claim, because I really didn't know. I didn't know if Aaron Ron, because I knew he lived in the Cedar Block area.
Aaron from the mob.
He's from the mob. Rock, I know, is from Elm Lane. And
Yeah.
G, what did G claim? G, they like to call Monkey Man. I never heard him call him that. I just called him.
George was from Ludus.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, cool. Yeah, Risky, Big Time Act did Risky. The artist Risky. Did he grow up with us? You knew him. I know he grew up in the neighborhood, but he didn't really claim or bang any particular set. I don't think James would consider him a mob member.
No.
He just grew up. He was like me. Just grew up in the neighborhood where they all.
You talking about
Risky? The artist.
He wasn't.
Yeah.
No.
These are the people that know, and they asking questions.
When I put this together, when I put all the homies together, all of them was in jail. Like I said, I started with Showboat and Baby Biggie,
okay, yeah,
and Kevin Wood, Kevin Brown.
Yeah.
I started with the little homies, and then when the night of the concert, the Super Bowl thing, the Budweiser Superfest, Suge asked me, man, how many bloods can you get? How many you want? So I got 30, 40 bloods here. And they was loving it. Thomas Klein was loving it. I put 5 people on him. They was loving that. So Suge seen that I know people, and he took what I gave him and all these guys, he took that and then he turned them against me, in a sense. And they went that way because at the beginning the money was good when he was giving them money. Even my brother. So
I like to always explain it, and how I really think it went down is the mob was always self-sufficient, and he couldn't, and he was a leader, and he had a hard time taking the back seat where the Buntrys and all of them was quiet and let Suge go ahead and call himself running stuff. Where Mob was the type was just nigga and I think that's what really happened, because whenever we needed numbers or something like that, for the Snoop Dogg trial and all of that, we can talk about that later. He always, or even Club 662, hey, make sure Mob's there controlling stuff with you, Reg. Make sure Mob is the one at the door with you, making sure the right people get in and the right people don't get in, would be what he would tell me. And so that's why I always knew he had the respect. He just couldn't deal. You couldn't deal with just sitting around the office and sitting around the studio all day waiting.
Well, you know what happened? I started realizing and I started seeing, and when my whole thing, when I start like really getting mad at Suge, I was making more money being mad at him than I was making doing this other shit, fighting people. It just became an issue with everything, and then didn't nobody really want to listen because they were getting paid. Man, you got to look at it. You had 10, 15, maybe 20 dudes in one room, and they ain't got to rob people, ain't got to sell drugs, ain't got to do nothing. They getting a check. A lot of these guys, this their first job ever.
Yeah.
Besides the penitentiary job they had in there, and these dudes, they didn't want to mess that up. So They went along with everything.
Yeah.
They went along with it. So now I'm butting heads with my brother and everybody else because they're not hearing me when I say, okay, why are they stabbing each other? Why did such and such stab Rock? Oh, over some money. But it was fixed. Or I'm going to give you this. Or I bought you a motorcycle. And they said, okay, cool.
Yeah. Hey, DJ AG asks, I'm going to give you a couple of questions that he asked. The first one he want to know about, when was the last time, or did you know Poochie? And before you answer that one, he had another one that I saw. Oh, okay. Ask James, does everyone in Compton acknowledge that Orlando Anderson is the one that killed Tupac?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. You want me to elaborate on it?
Yeah, go ahead.
Please,
Just
yeah.
tell him, yeah.
All right. We was all there
Go
that
ahead.
night at 662 for the party, the whole nine. Tupac, and I tell everybody, Tupac could still be alive today if Tupac would have minded his fucking business. If Suge would have told him, that's what I got these dudes for. They here to handle the business. The mob and Southside is going at it. Not the Southside and Tupac.
Yeah.
Tupac took it upon himself to go hit this little gunner and do something that he should have sat on the sideline with Suge, where Suge should have been. You ain't got to move. You ain't got to do nothing. You got too many cats here for you to be in there doing that. But he trying to prove himself to the homies, and he took off. And it cost him. It cost him. And that little nigga, he came and man, he did what he had to do. I mean, and Tupac, Tupac shouldn't have been in it, but that's Suge's fault.
Yeah. At David King, you asked me, did Suge mess with Puppy's baby mama? Yeah, he was messing with Missy. She was cool with Mary J. Blige, who Pac was messing around with. Most people don't know that. And Missy and Mary J. was real tight. And so
I didn't get into that aspect of it. I didn't care who he was messing with.
No, they just asked that question, and I was just asking some questions.
Yeah.
Could you elaborate about Poochie a little bit, Mom?
Yeah, Poochie was like I said, one of the gunners. Poochie was all right until he fell into that I don't give a fuck shit, and started listening to Suge, and it cost him his life.
Yeah.
Man, I can't say too much without saying a whole lot.
Yeah.
But Poochie was just like one of the ones that passed. It didn't have to be, but it happened. At that time, it was all the homies was against each other at this point, and if you ain't on this side, you're gonna get took down. And he got caught slipping, riding his bike, and his dogs got him.
Yeah. And when he's speaking of his dogs, I'll say who I believe they were. Or you
the homies.
Yeah.
No, I ain't gonna say who it was. I mean,
yeah.
Yeah. He
No.
got killed by the same old bullshit that Buntry and all the rest of them got killed by.
Exactly.
Some Suge Knight drama.
Yeah.
And, it's a cold thing that, everybody is sitting here talking about, oh, Suge. Man, Suge is a fucking weenie. Suge deserved to be where he at because he got all these other brothers dead. When I fucked up bringing him to the neighborhood because he fucked our whole hood up. He fucked everything up. And you got all these guys' mamas crying, but here you are over here, they talking about he shouldn't be in jail. Yes, he should. He's paying for everything that he did. And he crying. He passing out. Come on, you weenie. Get it right.
Yeah. Hey, James, Holden Cofield want to ask, and this is a funny question to me, Suge, do you really think, was he a blood? And if so, who jumped him on?
Suge ain't never been jumped on. Suge ain't never did a drive-by. Suge ain't never kicked it in the hood and drunk a 40. Suge ain't never put a red rag in his pocket. Suge ain't never been from the hood. His name was Miriam. His mama didn't let him hang out in no hood. No, Suge wasn't from the hood. Never, ever. He started saying the mob in 1988. And he was accepted because he started paying his way.
I got one here, James, from BDog9111. He wants to know, can we ask James what he said he saw? I guess he's saying, when you said you saw the white Cadillac pull up at Club 662, how did you know it was Southside, or did you know it was Southside, and did you see the driver or Keefe D or anybody that, you know, has infamously been known to have been out there when that situation went down?
We were already on alert because the mob in Southside was going at it, and they were saying that they was coming. They was going to be in Vegas, so we was already waiting for Southside to come to 662. I'm standing outside in the front of 662 when the Cadillac pulled up and pulled to the side.
Mm-hmm.
I see them. I call Suge and them and tell them that Orlando and them was out here. Baby Lane and them is here. That's what they call him.
Mm-hmm.
So they knew he was there. They sat there for a minute as if they was going to come in and go to the back. They drove off.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? So we all ready. We all locked and loaded. We ready for whatever they was going to bring. After that, they seen him at the MGM, and it went from there.
Mm-hmm.
Let me ask you this, Ma, because I didn't know, but did anybody call you and tell you about the incident at the MGM that they had just jumped Orlando? Did you know that part of them getting shot?
No, we didn't know. We didn't know nothing happened
Exactly
at the MGM until they came. And when Buntry and Neckbone them came, they spoke on it and said Tupac just got shot. So everybody was going to leave 662. Suge said, no, he going to be all right. He going to be all right. He got hit in his medallion, and he got hit in the shoulder or something like that on the side, on his left shoulder. And everybody started back partying. Okay, he going to be all right.
Mm.
Heron is the only one that went and stayed at the hospital.
Yeah.
Then nobody tripped. Suge said it was good. We wanted to close 662 down and go to the hospital. But no, they didn't want to do that.
Yeah, I left with the attorney and went to the hospital.
Yeah, so we partied.
And can you talk about, James, the people behind Tupac's car that did you hear later that returned fire onto the white Cadillac?
Nobody, from where my brother said, nobody returned fire at them. They pulled up and shot at the car, and they took off and went right. That's all they said. They said it was a bunch of those guys standing out and mad and all of that other shit. Wait a minute. My thing was, okay, we got police. Y'all got real police in this entourage. Y'all got real police that able, because we was told not to have no pistol, no nothing. Mm-hmm. That the police was gonna come down on the entourage because they know we carry guns, all this shit, and nobody was supposed to be on the strip with a pistol.
Okay. Which has been reported, but people want to try to make that out like that makes somebody guilty of setting it up or whatever. But the question.
No, I mean
go ahead.
It was basically, I mean, okay, all y'all is fucking convicts, which I kind of understood, but I didn't see the logic in it. You don't need it on the strip. You go into a fight. So if you go into the fight, you don't need to carry no gun. Heavy security. So let the real ones do that. Mm-hmm. And I don't know, they didn't have no guns in their cars. I don't know what they did, but that situation went off the way it went off. They pulled up, they shot at him, and they took off.
Okay. And there's a few questions coming in, and I know this story is pretty well known, but if you could kind of give your take on it. The Lakewood Mall incident a few months prior, were you there? Did you hear about it? Anything you can speak on?
Well, I wasn't there, But when Trayvon came back to the hood, Trayvon was upset and said, Lil Baby Lane tried to snatch his chain, which he did. See, a lot of people don't know Baby Lane, he was with the business. And Puffy and them put out a $10,000 reward for any death row chain.
Mm-hmm.
Any one of us that had a death row chain and they took it, they was giving up 10 grand.
Mm.
So he was out there trying to get his. So he ran into Trayvon. And Trayvon knew he wasn't coming back to the neighborhood without it, so he fought for it. So they fought, he got his chain back, but now it's an issue. Oh, these cats want to get down like that? So now there's the mob in the South Side is on one. Oh, y'all want to come get at us? We're going to come get at y'all.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just neighborhood. That's just street shit.
Yeah.
And
yeah. Hey, James Simmons, right quick, because you putting out stuff that's kind of false. What I lied about was the chain snatching incident with Tupac, not the one at the Lakewood Mall. The Lakewood Mall incident is factual. It happened, bro.
Yeah, I know that happened.
No, not you, James. It's a guy
named
James Simmons that's saying that I'm just correcting him on something before he start running with something that's not true. And then we had put out, and I had heard even too that Buntry and Neckbone gave a little chase of the car, and a lot of people are saying, "Oh, that's not true." You know,
it's not true.
It's not true, so they didn't chase the car down.
No, if that was true, the females that was in that car would have said that Buntry, when he had a Super at the time, was chasing them. If they would have chased them, they would have got shot at too. No, they didn't. And that's my brother, so he would have told me, "Oh yeah, I chased the nigga." Yeah, no, it didn't happen.
Yeah, okay. Okay, cool. DJ AG want to know, were you at the Soul Train Award at the time when I think that was Rick James got all those dudes together to wear the Bomb1st T-shirts? Were you one of the ones? I don't think you were. Yeah, I got that one.
Was that the Bomb1st sweatshirts, Reggie, or the ones that said P-Funk or whatever on the back of them?
Yeah, you're right. I think they were the P-Funk ones.
The P-Funk thing is my ideal.
Okay, how did that come about?
The P-Funk, we was all Lewis in the neighborhood. We got cars, and we made P-Funk. I made a plaque that said P-Funk,
mm-hmm.
and everybody took the P-Funk and ran with it. Mm-hmm. So we had burgundy hats with P-Funk on it. We had our plaques. We had T-shirts with P-Funk on it. So I ain't did no concerts with no T-shirts, no thug shit.
Mm.
So
no, that was later on when we got into it a little bit with the South Side, got the Soul Train Awards, but I don't think you were. I don't think.
No, I wouldn't.
That's when Rick James kind of got a bunch of people together for him.
Yeah, that's what I. That's probably. I left after Snoop Dogg trial. Yeah. I had enough after that.
Mm.
I was done.
Kind of explain that. Kind of tell what you had to do for that. How Suge had to reach out to you and you had to help Snoop with the trial.
I mean, he really didn't have nobody because all the Long Beach cats was coming up there. The Long Beach Crips was coming up there, you know, threatening Snoop and saying they wanted this and that from him. So this is from what Suge tell us. So he said, grab some guys and go up there and patrol. If they on one, they come up there on one. We deal with it, and that was my only purpose of being there. Snoop is a good cat, and you know I didn't want to see nothing happen to him. I mean, he already going through what he going through, but it was just so much drama, and people was coming up there and saying they gonna do this and that to him. So he asked me would I do that. So I grabbed 9 guys and posted every day, and just walked around the court building every day, front to back.
Yeah. And what Jay's saying there on that, guys, is that you know where somebody's at every day, coming to court, you can come up there and push up on them whenever you try to get a hold of somebody. And so what James was
they wouldn't get on the elevator. That wouldn't happen. Yeah. And none of that was going down. They wouldn't finna touch him.
Yeah.
So it was all good. So after he won that I was done. I didn't really want no more part of Suge and the homies meeting their demise, and I was done.
Yeah. Rob Rebel, what he's trying to say is he stopped hanging around on a everyday or a lot basis after the Snoop trial thing. But he was up there at the Club 662 on special events. Whenever it was time to make some real money, James was around. So that's what
I did it all.
Yeah,
exactly.
That's what's up, Rob Rebel. So there ain't no conspiracy or no lies going on there. He just wasn't around on a daily basis like most people was, is what he said.
Mm-hmm. Hey James, Steve's Vault has a question. He wants to know if you can speak on or elaborate Tupac and if he considered himself a member of, if he was a Blood or if he was just affiliated, or what you can kind of give some inside knowledge as you were there, when he got out and saw him around the guys. What you think his mindset was as far as if he considered himself in or out or just affiliated.
When Tupac made it to Los Angeles and he came straight to the studio. Tupac, let me tell you, he was a cool dude. Everything that he wanted came to the studio. He didn't move. He was knocking songs out like it was a thing to do. I was amazed by the dude. When he started hanging with the homies, it changed him. He was this. He went from being humble, should I say, to this Billy Badass cat, spitting on people. I didn't like that. You don't have to do that. For what? You don't have to argue with a nigga. This is what we here for. And he just wanted to be front line. When he got the mob tattooed on his body is when I had a problem. You ain't killed nobody. You ain't fought nobody. You ain't from Compton. You ain't did nothing in Compton to get that tattoo. And when he got that tattoo, I got it Suge now. But like I said, my brother Buntry and Timmy and all of them was like, "Mob, you tripping? You tripping? You tripping on the wrong shit." I let it go, and didn't really deal with Tupac on that gang banging level because he wasn't from the hood. But like I said, the money that he was throwing around and all these other cats was getting, they accepted that. No, he wasn't. He claimed the mob. When he died, he was from the mob. He had Mob Paru on his body.
Yeah.
That's what these people don't understand. No, he wasn't saying cuz and none of that. He was from the mob.
Yeah, and I hear that debate a lot, and people say, "Oh no, he was saying that for members, money over bitches and all of that." If y'all
no, he wasn't.
I know. Listen to his lyrics when he say, "Fuck the rap game. This is MOB."
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's all in his songs.
So anyway, but we'll let them have whatever conspiracies they want on that, or their belief on that, because they want to put him on a higher mental than. But anyway, let's get to some more questions for Mal. Mal, you got any more good history lessons you would like to tell?
I just want everybody to know, I lost my brother.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? My brother wasn't killed by the gang banging. Death Row killed my brother. Death Row killed Hendo, Heron, Poochie, Vincent, Big Jake, Chin. This is on some inside shit. This ain't no Death Row. No, a lot of guys lost their life, and everybody worrying about this fat ass crybaby, and I don't like it. Sugar's a weenie. Should man up to your little shit, my nigga, and it is what it is. He in that situation because he didn't have nobody to bag him up. He got knocked out because he didn't have nobody to bag him up. And you lost everything. And we should have been good. Everybody should have been good and happy, but it didn't go that way. But people got life so twisted, and this Orlando and Tupac. Orlando killed Tupac. Let it go. Everybody in Compton knew it. Everybody knows what happened.
Oh.
You know, but everybody making movies and money off of shit that we already know.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just wearing thin, man. It's boring. You know, people looking at Suge like Suge is saint. Suge helped people. Suge didn't help shit. Everybody that worked for Suge is still in the hood or back in the penitentiary. Ain't nobody come out of this with no money. Nobody. So, I mean, we all still where we was at before he came. But everybody is just separated now. There ain't nothing the same. And he destroyed a lot of lives. You know, I see him on TV talking about Sarita. Come on, man, that's your kid's mother. You know, but he'd do anything to satisfy Suge. And Suge wasn't worried about nothing but Suge Knight. But Suge Knight. Suge Knight was not this hell of a nigga. Suge Knight was not a gangbanger. Suge Knight became from the hood because he paid to be from the hood. That's why he was here.
And when did you fall out with Suge? James, was that after the after Snoop was acquitted, or is there an event that led you to decide, like, I'm not fucking with this guy anymore?
Well, we had, like I said, we had homeboys stabbing each other.
Mm-hmm.
We had homeboys shooting at each other. We had homeboys getting killed, and I wasn't going against the grain like that. And it was time for me to either I separate from this or I go back to the penitentiary. And when me and Suge had the conversation, ain't nobody getting paid. Why the fuck is your ring bigger than my ring? Why your medallion bigger than my medallion? And he said, because it's his money. We made this money. Suge wouldn't have did this and wouldn't have got the respect or had all the fear in these people without all of these guys standing behind him. They weren't looking at Suge. If that was the case, Suge would be still that same person right now. No. When the homies left, Suge started getting knocked out, drinks poured on him, slapped, all other kind of shit. But these are the things that people all over the world don't see or hear.
Mm-hmm.
But stop praising this dude. This dude is nobody. He got lucky. And one thing I can give Suge is he got a mouthpiece. And he took a bunch of dumbass gangbangers, including myself, and made monkeys out of them and made millions using us to get what he want. And he did that. So did he use his degree for something? Yeah. Had all of us going, thinking we finna get out the hood, thinking we finna be able to get our moms or move to this bigger place and be away from Compton. Never happened. That's the Suge Knight I brought to the neighborhood.
Gotcha. Okay, somebody in the chat asked, can you speak on Hammer? Because I guess Hammer got the MOB tattoo on the same spot that Tupac got it. If you saw that,
I'll take that question, James. I'll take that.
Yeah,
Hammer got MOB on the back of his arm too, but he was just trying to be Hammer. Unfortunately, had got down to a low point where he was just trying to be down and do a lot of things. Everybody was trying to be like Simon and do everything that Simon was doing. Hammer didn't do any songs though talking about MOB and stuff like that in his song. So no, he's a player. He's from up north, from Oakland and all of that.
Mm-hmm.
Hammer really is a good dude. Now, you know, you got some people that want to say the MOB stands for money over bitch in the music stuff. But James and all of them, they don't like that, and that's disrespectful to them because they dying and they in there fighting over territory for this tattoo of the mob and MOB and all of that.
Mm-hmm.
And that means member of the Bloods, or I'll let James tell you what that stands for. But
I'm just saying it's MOB. That's just straight mob.
This mob.
We always said money over bitches.
Yeah.
Money over bullshit. And that's what we stood for. But today, Lil Wayne, all these cats are running around here saying they from the mob power rules. I ain't never seen these dudes. But that's for these cats out here that's doing it today to check these cats. But, you know, Hammer, like I said, yeah, he's a good cat. But I never knew he went and put a mob tattoo on him.
Yeah, he had it on his back arm too.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Well, that's Suge fault.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. You seeing any good questions in here, Reggie, from the people?
Oh yeah, there's a bunch of them out there. Just keep on going. Yeah.
Cool.
Let's see who all the. If you can just give us a rundown, just a little bit on some of the guys that was around, like just tell them, update where they at, what they doing. Like Trey, Rock, any of the homeboys that's around Neckbone. If you've seen any.
Rock is in prison.
Yeah.
Don't know when he coming home. Neckbone is doing good, raising his daughters, his family. Got a job. Montre's deceased. Hen Dog's deceased. Heron is deceased. Timmy, he's incarcerated right now. George is incarcerated. Poochie is deceased. Zeke is doing good right now. He's all right. If you ain't dead, you in prison. Let's just say that for every last one of us. I'm staying above water. I mean, it's always a struggle. All the little homies that was with Suge, they back in the neighborhood.
And when you saying that, he's talking about after 2002. The little homies that was hanging around him a little bit.
Yeah, the little homies after everybody had walked away from him.
Yeah.
He recruited some of the little homies, but they wasn't ready to stand up to them S'mores when the S'mores whooped Suge ass.
Yeah.
He just didn't have it no more. Yeah. But every guy that was with Death Row and ran through Death Row, I can even say Danny Boy, I can even say DOC, I can even say Dr. Dre at the top. Everybody that dealt with him walked away with nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Yeah, and then other two that was kind of around that I know about, and James know about, we just forgot to mention, was K-Dub. He's still around and he's doing okay.
K-Dub's still doing good. He all right.
And then Mob don't like this name at all, but he was my boy. But Bob Gotti, he's still all right.
No, I ain't got nothing that stuff. Bob is the homie.
Oh, okay.
I ain't mad at my Bob. If he got an issue, that's on him.
He don't.
Okay, you know what, Reg? Don't call the kettle black if you ain't never seen a kettle, nigga. You feel me?
All right.
That's what I say about him.
Okay. All right. We'll leave that alone.
Like I just said, all of us, man, did nobody prosper. Did nobody come out of this, not even in a nice car, man.
Yeah.
Nobody. So Suge did his thing. He did his thing. And you can't blame, and I'm not going to hold the blame on him because all of us could have left. We all could have left. None of the homies wanted to hear me when I said, nigga, we need to get ours. Because at that time, P. Miller done hit his homeboys. They run around talking about he done gave his dudes $1 million. Why we can't get that? You worth more than that. Let us get something. Didn't happen. So Death Row was a waste of time and a lot of bodies. Meaning a lot of people got killed for nothing and no reason. So when they get to thinking about doing these movies and all this other shit, this Straight Outta Compton, man, tell them people to tell the truth about it. Straight Outta Compton was a joke. Dre didn't hang in Compton.
No.
They went from Compton.
No.
He was from Compton, but none of them cats hung in Compton. Niggas was wearing lipstick and shit.
Well, tell a little bit about you're gonna be a feature, and we never know what's gonna be played. But Mob was a big feature in the Death Row Chronicles that's gonna be coming out, and so he.
Is that right?
That. Yeah, you was on that. You didn't.
I didn't know that.
Take that?
No.
I thought you taped that. Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
Man, I just talk to people about what's going on and try to clear it up. But this is my thing, just like doing this right here. A lot of people after this, they still gonna think what they want to think. They gonna say, "Was he really there?" I'm telling all you people, I'm day one. I was day one.
Yeah.
One day out of prison, and this nigga knocked on my door.
Yeah.
One day out of prison, and here I am fighting for this dude. I'm socking niggas for this dude. One day out of prison.
They must use that interview because you're gonna be on there. They must have brought whoever did that interview for you. I mean, you did that interview for.
Oh, no, I just hope people really see the shit for what it is. I hope people really pay attention and understand that this wasn't no police killing Tupac because Tupac was about to be the next John Gotti or the president of the United States. He got killed by Orlando.
Yeah, that's one theory. And then the other theory is that Sharita and I had the aspirations of taking over death row.
Mm-hmm.
And so we
know what?
Little Half Dead and the Patton. Did you know the Patton, Danny Patton?
Okay.
Did you know them?
Yeah, let me say this to you, Reg.
Yeah.
Let me say this. And this is what they need. Their intelligence is way better than that. So that's just some shit somebody's saying, so they can clear their shit. Sarita saved this dude life so many times.
Yeah.
So many times. If she wanted him gone, all she had to do is stay out the way. He got so many enemies, so many people. I'm talking about on the Crip side and on the Blood side. Niggas have lost their lives dealing with this dude. All she had to do is sit to the sideline, sit on the sideline. It would have happened.
Yeah.
It would have happened. She had, man, I feel sorry for her. He left her and wouldn't even feed his kids.
Mm.
She had to sue him for child support. See, people need to get their shit together and pay attention to the big pictures. Suge went all that. Yeah, he gave out a turkey. He had Mother's Day dinners. It was a joke. Ain't nobody else got no more questions. I'm about to just take over here.
Now, go ahead. They did. We just reading through them. A lot of people be throwing questions at us that I just can't even ask you. But
Man.
Supreme, you asking his mom still in Compton? Yeah, he's still living in Compton. Same spot. Yeah, he can go where he want. He go back and forth from Vegas to Compton.
I heard that my shit was revoked. Who gonna revoke it?
Oh yeah.
Who gonna revoke it, man? Let me tell you something. I'm not worried about nobody. I ain't tripping and I ain't looking for it. But yeah, I'm not Buntry. I'm not gonna sit and wait on you to come after me or talk that shit with me. I do what I do, and I'm getting there. I'm getting old. I ain't got time for none of that. A lot of shit Suge Knight put out there. A lot of shit Suge did because he was on his way. But I ain't worried about nobody, man. I was there. Shit happened. I've been out of the penitentiary since 1988. For those people that said that I fuck with the police because I got in trouble. I've been out of the penitentiary, people, since 1988. Ain't been back. Went one time and ain't going back. Ain't nothing in there. And that's it. So they can roll with that and do what they gonna do. Stop acting like, not want to say who you is. Nigga, tell me who you is. Come talk to me. But all that other bullshit, I'm tired of that shit, man. People need to get over what they're getting over and do them. A lot of them, I say, are you mad that did I beat your daddy up back in the days? Did I make him look like a weenie or something?
Yeah.
A lot of people just talking. A lot of people need to stop talking. Death row is done. All this other shit is done. And they need to let it go. They need to let it go, move on, grow up, and get a life. I'm done with it.
Yeah.
I'm done with it. But it seems like every time I do an interview, I don't get my point across. Everybody is still... No, they still saying who killed Orlando. Just like with Biggie.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you, Suge and Puffy was still talking at the same motherfucking time that the war was going on. Him and Tupac and Biggie was talking. Rich, you know, them niggas was talking. Tupac wanted to leave that motherfucker, just like Snoop and all the rest of them. But Dre had balls enough to say, keep all of it. I don't want nothing. I just let me go. And Suge was good with that because he didn't have to give him no money. Come on, man, those dudes was tired. Getting their cars taken from them. How do I know? I took Dre's car. That car in the video, I took that motherfucker and didn't give it back.
You remember? I remember when it broke down. I had to give you a push in the police car.
Exactly. So, and I'm driving it and parking it in my yard every day. I ain't got no lock on my gate, no nothing. Did Suge come get it? No, he didn't come get it because he knew. Come in my yard, touch my car. That's mine. Yeah. So those dudes need to stop, man. People just need to quit, get over it, and just let it go. A lot of guys are dead.
Mm-hmm. Now
the hood is tossed upside down.
Mm-hmm.
Huh?
For the record, and Reggie, you'll like this. J-Mix wants to know if you ever, not to Reggie, but to James, if you ever knew of anybody at any time in the hood or anywhere else named Danny Patton. Have you ever heard that name?
Danny Patton?
Yep.
I don't know. Do we have a nickname?
Nickname back in the day was supposedly White Boy.
No.
Okay. Thank you.
And in
J-Mix, hope that makes you happy.
Wait a minute, let me say this in fairness to that. Brennan says in his affidavit somewhere that he had heard the name of a guy named Danny Patton, but he could never find him, is what he said in the affidavit.
We ain't had no white boy in our hood.
Yeah,
white boy.
Yeah, White Boy was from Cedar Block, the one I knew, Michael White.
Yeah. No, he's saying from the mob. Never.
No, I know. I was just saying the only white boy I knew in Compton was White Boy from Cedar Block, the one that knocked out the gang's brother.
Yeah. Other than that, no, man.
So you feel, James, that Tupac, had that situation in Vegas not happened, he would have left Death Row?
Yes, he would have left Death Row. Yes, he would have. And I honestly believe that.
And for the record, let me just say this is what me and Ma are going to disagree at. Ma, like I said, Ma wasn't around back then. He just going for what he knew. But Ma was the one that would call up the Death Row Records whenever, like you said, whenever he needed the money, and cuss out everybody that answered the phone, just so he can make him get on the phone, just so I can call him and say, "Hey, Ma, I'll come up here and pick up a check." That's how
he knew you was the only one to talk to me.
Yeah.
Rez, this is how cold they was. When I got mad at them, they called my mama.
Yeah.
And had my mama try to talk sense to me. No, it wasn't like that. I was just being me. And Suge, don't be scared and lock yourself behind no gate. But Suge already knew. He didn't want me to touch him. He already knew. But, I mean, that's just the way it was. But everybody knew the rumor. Everybody heard the rumors. You know, a lot of them guys was ready to leave because they wasn't getting paid right. It was falling apart from the inside. Death Row was falling apart. And Suge knew that. Some things he tried to fix, but he couldn't fix it. It was almost too late. You know, Bob and all of those guys, none of them guys, they couldn't afford a home or nothing dealing with Suge. I don't understand why they still sitting there like Suge was a damn saint. He wasn't no saint. A lot of the fights he was in. But I'd be damned if he get up there and facing the guillotine now and then act like he acting. Man. I mean, who passes out?
Well, I'm hoping this for his diabetes, Mob. I'm hoping it ain't from.
Okay, what about him going blind then?
Well, he the nigga never could see. You know, I'm still a chick for power.
There you go. See, and this is where I try to draw the line.
I know.
Come on, man. Suge was out there functioning and doing everything that he wanted to do. He picked on people who he knew he can pick on.
That's true.
He did things, and he paying for it. And he paying for it.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
And people, I'm trying to bring somebody that, I knew Mob James. I know his opinion. I knew what he was going to say. So I'm just trying to bring y'all the side. I'm just trying to bring y'all people that was around.
Mm-hmm.
Mob James was there from the beginning. He was all the way there, all the way up until the end. He just wasn't like most of the homeboys that was around where was always there, or, we just kind of, as I explained to y'all earlier, something that just laid back, where Mob James and K-Dub was the two that they were self-made. They knew how to make money to go out. They were leaders in their own right, where they couldn't just sit back like some of us could. And so I knew what Miles was going to be saying, and I knew his opinion. So
I did the neighborhood, I did the gangbang, and I've been shot 4 times for the mob. I've been in all of that. I've been in all that, but I refuse for a clown or anybody. If you 21 years old, you don't know nothing of me. You're a child. You don't know nothing I've been through or where I've been.
Yeah, Miles is 52 because I'm 51, and he's a year older than me. So
I'll be 53 next in April, and I'm getting older, and I'm, a lot of shit I'm not proud of.
Yeah.
But I mean, I did it. I was there, but I have never got on the stand and said, "Yeah, that's him." Never. If a nigga want to call me anything, that's all you got to do is bring your paperwork. Other than that, I learned a long time ago. Don't kill a nigga because they say he ratted on him or went to court on him. Nigga, show me the paperwork and then you get rid of the nigga. But other than that, these cats, man, these children out here, they ain't got no guidance. And they gang banging, they killing little kids and doing all this other stupid shit. We didn't get down like that. Our shit was direct. Straight to the point. All this job they got going on now is ridiculous. But this about Suge.
Yeah.
Everybody assumed that Suge was this big, vicious killer cat. I went to Linwood High with Suge, and which his 2 cousins, the twin, went there too.
Yeah,
they played football at Linwood. They'll tell you. Suge always got into trouble, and they was there to clean it up. They was there to clean it up. UNLV, Suge got in trouble. He had somebody to clear it up. His shit. He never was a blood. Never said it. If he did, his mama would have put soap in his mouth. He was never that type of dude. Never that type of dude until he started, till that day he picked me up. And it was on.
Hey, Mark, do you know somebody named, a guy named Johnny Coop want to know, a guy named C.K. Vale? He's saying he's a pyro that started off some game war. You know anything about that? I never heard.
I know C.K. Vale.
Okay. Do you know anything about him starting off some type of game war or anything? Or?
No, I don't. Man, I'm so far. The gang banging is pathetic. I don't deal with none of that. I don't associate myself with none of them. That's my little brother, cup of tea. He the big homie. I'm not the big homie.
No more.
Period. No more.
Yeah.
No more. And a lot of people don't understand. When everything changed for me, when Buncher got killed. When Buncher got killed, I always thought, we was gang banging. The Crips was supposed to. That's their job. They supposed to kill one of us. Mm-hmm. My brother was killed by Bloods, and all the Bloods that was killed by Bloods. Yeah. They defeating the purpose, and I wasn't defeating the purpose like that. And these cats out here worrying about some other shit. Man, what about all of these guys that's gone? But when I lost my brother, man, the game is over. The game is over. I'm not representing this. I ain't giving my life for it. I'm not doing that no more. So the streets can't tell me I got to chalk it up. My brother gone. They better be lucky I just didn't go vicious.
Yeah, Jim. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
I walked away. I called it quits. I was done after my brother, after Hen Dog, Heron, Big Jake. When those Vincent, I was done after them guys, man. We talking about all real motherfuckers, and I was done after that.
Yeah, GMX, why are you asking this question? You want to ask about Kevin Gaines. You know I ain't know no Kevin Gaines. And you know that Suge is not going to let me be hiring no cops that was sleeping with his wife. I done said that about 1,000 times. Why you want to fill up our board asking us that? I don't know. And then you want to ask, is it true that we took him to the desert? Man, he was a cop. If we had took him to the desert, he would have came and he lived. He would have came and arrested, have everybody arrested that was associated to that. No cops was not scared of no gangbangers like that. And so if he would have lived to get away, we would be in jail for that. Don't ask
You know what,
questions like
Greg?
that.
All of those questions are illusions, man. People don't understand it. They ask silly ass shit. Don't want to ask what's real. Come on, man. All of this death row shit was straight up on some gangbanging shit. This was some gangbanging shit. This was no police against the record companies or music business. This was some gangbanging shit. What the fuck Southside doing getting into it with a major record label? That's because we brung that shit to their ass. You know, the Southside was bringing Puffy them and hanging in their hood.
Yeah.
But we got Mission Lee and Jodeci been in the hood. LL Cool J been in the hood.
Yeah, tell him where he took him because he brought him up to your shop.
House and to let me ride hydraulics.
Yeah.
And you know, we had all the celebrities at the house. You know, it ain't every day you see a nigga coming in 3 Lamborghinis just rolling through the hood. Everybody was following these cars to see where they was going. You know, but right around the corner, up the block, you got Puffy, you got Biggie Smalls, and you know, buying half a pound of motherfucking weed, ounces of weed, and just splurging with liquor and kicking it with the Crips, doing the same thing Suge doing. Hiring them, promising them that I can help you, I got you. So it was the same thing on both sides.
A guy named Anthony Dawkins, he asked, how often did the homies have to put their hands on Chuck? You know,
on each other?
Huh?
He said on each other?
On Suge. Did any of the homies ever have to put their hands on Suge?
No.
That. Yeah.
No.
Yeah, Nathaniel Parsons, Peter, Mob James don't get into listening to that bullshit Daz be talking about. So he probably
what
doing
Daz
back in the
talking
day.
about?
Daz is be on the internet talking a lot of bullshit.
Well, you know,
yeah.
I can say this about Daz and Corrupt them and all those guys that was actually on death row payroll, man. You know, a lot of those guys was frustrated and pissed off and because of how certain things were ran or how they was talked to or whatever the case might be. But one thing for sure is that they didn't express their feelings, how he expressed his feelings on his videos and all of this, because he know and everybody else know it would have been a problem. It would have been a problem. And I ain't mad at him because he didn't speak up and say whoop the whoop whoop, or I don't like this shit. If he did, he didn't do it sitting in that office. But I mean, that's just how things was. You know, a lot of those guys wanted to get away from this dude and didn't know how to go by doing it without thinking or assuming that this dude gonna send somebody after them. They just didn't know.
Yeah.
So I mean, you can't fault him for not.
Yeah.
So they found their ways.
Yeah. Hey, Sharif, Naeem Sharif, you said that, and I didn't hear this interview. I never listened to it. I said I was going to listen to it. But I guess you're saying in an interview you heard that James' younger brother, Black Jesus, said that his middle brother, or his younger second brother, Buntry, slapped Suge. I never heard of that.
No,
Yeah,
well,
but
that it came up before. What
okay.
Suge is, I'm gonna tell you, Suge is supposedly pissed Buntry off and said something. He didn't get his money where he's supposed to did something, or whatever the case might be. But I did hear that. But Alton told me, my brother Buntry said, no, he didn't.
Yeah. He didn't roll like that. Buntry was. You had to really push Buntry to hurt somebody.
Yeah, and then like I said, all you had to do is be mad at Suge, and he will write you a check.
Yeah.
I'm not lying to you.
No,
you get mad at him and tell him, nigga, I'm on my way up there. come, I got something for you. Okay. So I made more money being mad at him and didn't have to work for him just by being mad. I got paid more than I would do on a check. I wasn't tripping. But no, he didn't put his hands on it.
Yeah. At Tavo, right quick, I heard what Sharita said about Tupac saying that he wanted to bring Suge to a different level and get him into the film industry. And I believe that. Like I said, they started with the gang related, and they did Gridlock. That was 2 films that was done in a 9-month period. Most of y'all don't know, but John Singleton had wrote Poetic Justice for Tupac. He was supposed to play that role that Tyrese played in.
Oh, you mean Baby Boy, right?
Yeah, Baby Boy?
Yeah, I'm sorry, Baby Boy. So that could be that was a true statement. Not that Suge was probably going to get into it like that, but he maybe was talking about on the management side or something like that. But
here's a question, Reggie. Can you elaborate? I know we touched on an interview one time when Tupac first got out of prison and went to the studio, and he had a bit of he smoked too much weed or had a bit of a seizure or something like that. Can either of you guys speak on that?
Yeah, I was there on that one. Ma probably was up there too, but he was I think he had just smoked and drank so much that night, and
he was exhausted.
Yeah, or exhausted. That's probably a better word. And he did pass out and was laid down, had a little brief seizure. That's when I just got him. We got him up, got him some water and stuff, and didn't call no paramedics or anything like that. Mm-hmm. And I had Kevin Hackey drive him to the Peninsula Hotel that night, and he stopped that night. He came to the studio and worked for a few hours, but I think he just had a little bit too much weed and alcohol in his system because he had only been out of jail a day or two.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, Marvin, we done been on the phone with you for about an hour and 15 minutes, man. We appreciate
it. Oh, well, man, like I said, it's a pleasure, man. And for all these people, man, I just hope these people listen and they hear it and they understand it better than what they seeing on TV and the shit they putting out here. Stop betraying this dude and making this dude look like everybody just turned their back and he helped people. He ain't helped nobody. It is what it is. Let this shit be over with. Tupac gone. Biggie gone. All the homies gone. My brother gone. And just roll with it. Let it go. It's done.
Yeah. And most of these people, Miles, in fairness to them, they just fans and just want to hear. They appreciate it. I wish you could read the comments that people are just saying. It's like, man, thanks, James. Tell Miles James thanks just for telling us real stories. This true story.
Okay.
So most of the people just want to hear stories of what's going on. We have a few people in there that's and this is like what I say. Well, I like to do it and bring on people that I know that I can reach out to, is because they just want to hear stories. We got about 10 idiots out there that throw crazy questions at it, but if you don't answer it or throw it out, then they keep going. The story keep living.
Exactly. And trust me, okay, and trust me, I ain't worried about none of that other BS because I'm far from that. And it is what it is. I live mine. Alton been gone, 16 years now?
2002, yeah.
Man, I'm still waiting for him to come.
Yeah.
Where they at, Reg?
Yeah.
come get me.
Yeah.
I'm still waiting 16 years. But I just hope they understand it, man. And you know, Tupac probably would have still been here if he wouldn't have got killed by somebody else. But he'd have still been living if he'd sat on the sideline and let the game bangers do what they do.
Yeah.
He was there for money, not to be a thug, not to be the homie. Without you, there ain't nobody getting no check. And that's what happened.
Yeah.
He should have stayed Tupac. But he's proven himself. Shit didn't go his way. He ain't understanding the street rules in Compton. You put your hands on me, you better be ready. And they wasn't ready. He let his guards down. Suge thought it was all good. And the man lost. He lost. He lost. Fucking with some real guys.
And just to clear it up, because I know on my side, from the security side of the cops, nobody called and told me about the beating down, and I know you answered it once, but just to put it out there again, did anybody express to you over the phone, and I know niggas didn't like talking over the phone, but anybody express to you or anybody that was at the club with your homeboys, you know, that was there, like Timmy and all of them that was at the club, not at the house, that tell you what happened at the MGM? Because I never heard about it.
Well, yeah, they told me that they was walking. He was walking in and
before the shooting had happened, before they came to the club.
Before the shooting, they seen each other at the fight.
Mm-hmm.
They already spotted each other, but now they about to cross paths, and they was standing there. I guess Orlando was startled, standing there, and he was looking. And when Tupac went, Trey was supposed to get at him.
Yeah.
You and Trey had this altercation at the mall, so Trey was supposed to have been the one to get at him. He from the mob, not Tupac.
Yeah.
So when he didn't do it, Tupac went and took off. And when Tupac took off, everybody on him. So they fucked up and let him get up and dust his pants off.
Yeah.
So he got in the car, man, these niggas just whoop my ass, whoop.
Oh, of course.
Come on, man, you gotta have a thug mentality and ask yourself, what would you do?
Exactly.
If somebody beats you down?
Yeah, we going looking.
All right, and ain't no rules to it because it took more than 4 niggas.
Yeah.
So all y'all gonna beat me up, all y'all gonna take me down like that, kicking on me like I'm a dog. So the little youngster said, okay, I got something for you. And post it up. All he had to do is sit on the side somewhere, going up the strip, and watch him come by, and all they had to do is follow.
Yeah. And like they said, they lucked up. I'll keep you detailing all the time. They lucked up. But hey James, this theory gonna be dead in on the 20th, the 22nd, 23rd, because Keefy D gonna get on that show, and he gonna tell it, just like it is. And
okay, and I got another one for you.
Okay, go ahead. But we here. We just didn't want to hold you up. But we here.
Oh no, you ain't holding me up.
Okay.
Let me tell you, it's a lot to it because ain't nothing happening on the strip that I ain't never seen in Vegas in my life, and I lived in Vegas since 1999, and never seen nothing happen. Nobody, you ain't getting off the strip and ain't getting caught.
Yeah.
It's so many cameras around there. They know what's happening. They know what's going on. Then here this dude here come Uncle, telling the whole story. How can they give you immunity for a case of a lifetime? This case here has been talked about for 20 years. How you can get up there and say, yeah, we killed this nigga, and ain't nobody go to jail? So man, they need to stop it. They need to start paying attention. Come on, Reg. Now, if we keeping it 100, we gonna keep it 100.
Well,
now,
they because just co-conspirators can't tell on each other. I mean, they have to have more than just a witness statement or a co-conspirator statement, and that's what the problem was with that. It was
the problem is they never came and hollered at Orlando. Mind you, my daughter mama is from Southside.
I know that.
So all the shit that they was going through over there, she was giving me feedback on all that. I was knowing everything that happened over there when Puffy and them came and kicked it on California Street.
I know about you and Glencoe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So TPD and none of them cats can say nothing. You know what I'm saying? All these dudes sitting here and you know, everybody Diddy. What do you think? I mean, it's just plain and simple. It's plain and simple. And I say this: beat me up and let me live, and then think you gonna walk up a goddamn street and be cool.
Yeah.
Same shit gonna happen to you. So, you know, and this dude talking all of this, I mean, he putting it out there. This shit should have been cleared up a long time ago.
Yeah.
And then they find the pistol. Come on, man. They need to get that shit off TV and put that shit in court. So they know what's happening. But, I mean, it's so many interviews, so many chronicles, and all of this Tupac life, how Tupac died. Come on, man. This shit is getting ridiculous. It's getting ridiculous.
Yeah, Kyle Dolly sees I was real scared of Orlando and Keefy D. Guess y'all don't really know me.
He said you were scared of him.
Yeah, they said I was scared of Orlando and Keefy.
Keefy D wasn't a threat in his hood.
No, he was just
he wasn't a threat.
He was just a connect. That's it.
Thank you. Orlando, his nephew was the threat, was the business. He wouldn't, and Uncle wasn't a business. So a lot of people just don't understand, man. But I guarantee you, if we can just sit down and just like have a serious conversation, opposed to putting out everything that happens on the outside of death row, and talk about everything that was going on the inside of death row, we'll make millions, Reg. Let's do it.
We gotta do it, man. We gotta do it. Yeah.
Because
but like Mr. J Black said, Reg got this case on his head, so he's snitching. So, you know, nobody want to work with me. But they, like I just say, these are just people that think they know Reggie Wright, but they really don't.
Man, like I said, a lot of them don't. A lot of them don't, man.
Yeah.
Especially senior. You know,
yeah.
Big Red's getting old now. And, you know, I ran across him in the county jail. He was a sergeant in there. Mm-hmm. Was he a lieutenant?
Nah, he was a lieutenant at the county jail.
Yeah, and I seen him, and he was, I was going through the little HOJJ, the little SOS shit,
okay, the
little gang thing, and I was like, dang. But, man, these cats don't know good people when they see it, man, or whatever. And then these dudes don't understand. You got so many Huggy Bears out here on this goddamn planet, in the goddamn hoods. You know what a Huggy Bear is, right?
Informant. You know, we know what a Huggy Bear was.
No, Huggy Bear was a pimp. He wasn't no damn informant. He just had good news. But you got so many. You got so many Huggy Bears out there. These cats don't even know who's who.
Yeah.
These dudes don't know who's who. Man, I was shocked. Is this on the air or something?
Huh?
What I'm talking about is on the air?
Yeah, we're live right now.
Oh,
we're still live.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm going to shut the fuck up then. Cause
you thought we had got off. I did.
It's too many cats out here that ain't right.
Yeah.
It's too many. Don't focus on one nigga. Focus on, man, every neighborhood.
Yeah, Nathaniel Peterson said you need to write a book, Ma. They said you need to write a book. Nathaniel Pearson. Yeah.
Man, from the beginning of my life, at 12, 13 years old in the hood, walking the mob, and it didn't come serious until I got shot in 1980. That's when it just got live. Oh, we playing with guns. That's when it got real. But all this shit that you see today, all this about Suge and Puffy and all of these people, come on, man. This shit is so fucking phony. It's so fake. You got cats that really wasn't with it. That's on TV like they was like cold killers. It's sad. These dudes, man. I can talk all day and I can tell you all day.
That's what one person said. That's my boy Killer McLean said you need to do a book with audio. Big Dog 911 say, James, you keep it 100. He say thanks for keeping it 100.
I gotta keep it 100, and that's what a lot of like these fucking idiots Man, they can speak on me all day. And I say this. I'm not a gangbanger. I was done when my brother took his last breath. I don't care what nobody say.
Yeah. Never have.
I was the one. I was the one.
Now,
I can do those things.
You ain't gotta justify yourself to these people.
No, I'm not justifying. I'm just saying for the people.
They don't believe that you was the 100 nigga from the mob.
Hey man, you know what? They believe it. They believe it because all that shit they talking. Nigga, I've been waiting on you niggas for 16 years.
Yeah.
Let me stop that. But anyway, it's not like that, Reg. It's you know, definitely. It all started off on a bad note, like borrowing money from certain people that he shouldn't have, from people that lost their lives, and I only named 10. I can go further. I can just say all the homies that's gone, man. It wasn't that serious, and we lost a lot of. I'm talking about solid cash. You wouldn't on death row payroll if you was a weenie. Yeah. We lost penitentiary niggas. We lost motherfuckers that didn't even want to have kids. They was true to the hood. Yeah. That we lost them type of cats that believed in gangbanging, but we lost them to our own people.
Yeah. Hey, Sharif, he did tell you that the story that he said that he heard it from Black Jesus. But Buntry told him in confidence. Now he just kind of was upset with him about the slap. So you don't have to keep asking the question, Black. He kind of told us. You might have missed it, but he talked on it already. Go ahead, James. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So, and even on that, you know, a lot of people wanted to beat Suge, wanted to whoop his ass, me included. And sometimes I wasn't even mad at him. But I pretended to be mad because I needed some money. And I got a check from that. Rock Chisholm got a check from that. Buntry, George, everybody knew how to get something out of him. And he'd rather pay than let's get in the middle of the floor type of shit. That's how Suge solved his problems. Giving out money. But we lost. Behind the scenes, we lost more than what they showing. What they showing on TV is more than Tupac. We lost way, way more than that. We lost guys from every neighborhood. We lost them. And I'm talking about bona fide people. I'm not talking about some new cat just started coming in the hood and he I'm Big Wayne, I'm Little Wayne, and we ain't lost nothing like that. We're talking about original cats that been there, and it's a sad thing when you got so many thug niggas in one room, and we let this weenie cat control the whole situation, and everybody is still where they're at today, and look at where he's at today.
Yeah. Hey Rob, I've been ignoring the question, but I'm getting a lot of asks about it. Mm-hmm. So I'll just paraphrase it. A lot of people ask, what's your opinion on the Biggie, or who killed Biggie? If you want.
Well, they should be asking you that. Me?
They got my opinion, but go.
Okay, let me do this, and I'm gonna keep this 100.
Okay.
When I sat in the office many times, or just listening to the homies conversating, and when we had our little meetings, and when me and Buntry sat and played chess, drinking coffee, Biggie was in the same predicament Tupac was in. The same thing. Nigga didn't know what he was doing when he got into it, and Puffy took advantage of him. Mm. Puffy was getting so much money off of him. When he wanted to leave, him and Tupac, apparently, I don't know, but this is from the homies. They was talking. They had talked several times about squashing their situation, and at one time it was said that they was just doing it because people liking this shit. But from Buntry, that dude was in the same predicament and wanted to leave. and them two was supposed to have been getting them their own shit, and once Tupac left, and they was gonna do their own thing, they was gonna get away. But just like everybody else know, but motherfuckers don't want to say it. Suge was sitting in that office and laugh and giggle with that nigga Puffy. Laugh and giggle with him, but we at war. And a bunch of them didn't want to listen to that shit, and it was always I'm drunk. You be getting drunk too much. I pay attention to these cats. I'm paying attention to Suge.
Yeah.
When we had our meetings and we talked about the medallions and our pinky rings and all of this, and this dude sitting here, when we beat up the Rams football team for this dude, because a nigga called him a bitch and scratched his car.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
I think you went through that. They don't know about the Daryl Henleys and the Ron Brown world.
No, they don't. They don't.
Yeah.
Man, and when that dude came,
yeah.
When Ron Brown came, on some thug shit though, that man, people just don't know. The inside of Death Row is more intriguing than the Tupac thing.
Yeah.
Everybody know Orlando killed Tupac. That's done.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody gonna say nothing different. But Biggie was in the same boat as that man, and he wanted out too.
Yeah.
He wanted out too. So was Puffy greedy? Did Puffy bam? I don't know.
Yeah.
Shit, what's the rumors in the neighborhood? That the South Side's got Biggie for this dude. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that was a toss-up. I don't know. I know the mob didn't do it because he'd be all right by now if the mob did it.
Let me ask you this, James. A guy, Justin, wants to know if you have a favorite. This is off topic, but I want to fit it in because he's a good supporter of ours. He comes in, he asks questions a lot. He wants to know if you have a favorite Tupac song by any chance.
Me?
Mm-hmm.
I was never the groupie type. I really don't listen to rap, strictly oldies.
Okay.
I liked it all this music, though. Have I ever played it in my car? No, none of it. No rap.
Okay.
They had one specific song where they said that I was jealous or mad because they didn't mention me in the roll call.
Mm-hmm.
If you people listen to when he did that video, the
talking about Live and Die in LA, y'all. He talking about the Live and Die in LA.
The Live and Die in LA. M.O.B. Big Suge. Mob was the first one they mentioned, man. I'm Mob. I'm Mob. I was the first one. But since he spelled it out, I could be wrong too, though. He could have been just saying M.O.B. right. but that's what he told me. I mentioned you first.
Okay.
So I mean, it's everybody got their own. They can say everybody's gonna think how they want to think. Everybody gonna come up with their own conclusions and thoughts on Tupac. All these other people. All I say to y'all is, man, think about all of these guys, mothers, kids,
mm-hmm.
sisters, and everybody else that's mourning for their kids.
Mm-hmm.
And the only person is to blame is Suge. The only person is to blame. We at fault to a certain extent, but if he'd have kept it 100 and stopped, oh yeah, Aaron said he gonna get you. Oh, Rock said he gonna. You can't tell no thug niggas that. Okay, I'm listening to the hand that feed me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna try to kill this cat before this cat kill me. And everybody lose. Everybody lose. Because now you got hoods beefing with each other. It's all destroyed. And what I think is Suge was working with the FBI or something and told them, well, we can break this whole neighborhood shit up because Compton was tight. That was a joke.
Okay.
Let me ask you this, James.
Hey, Jan Foreman
okay.
want to ask, did Pac slap Snoop? No, Pac never slapped Snoop.
I ain't never heard of that one.
No, and all he said after the Vegas thing, not the Vegas, the New York thing was which was funny to me. It is still funny. He said that when he got home, he was gonna have the Outlaws rush Snoop and jump Snoop. And y'all had to know the Outlaws back then. They was a little young, so. Fado was the hard one, and he was already gone.
Hey, don't get it twisted though. There was a lot of shit going down in that office, but not the way these people put it out there. The headquarters was a mother, and you walked out of there, you kept your mouth shut, or you was good with somebody in that clique. But the headquarters, it was going down. It was going down. I seen a lot of people come through there and get their ass kicked, saying the wrong thing or just stepping up. I'm a man. I can say what I want. Not today. And no, man. But for this, like seeing Snoop and them getting tossed up and shit like that, that's, once again, that's people out there with their own speculations of man, I heard, and then that story has been told 600,000 times, and then every time it's told, somebody adds something on to it because they telling the story to somebody else. Nah, it didn't go down like that.
Yeah, James, could you just clear up, because this guy that's JMX, that's a big critique of ours. He's trying to say now, and he must have misheard you, that you don't buy the KPD story of Orlando and KPD and them killing Tupac.
I never said I didn't bite the story of KPD.
Exactly.
KPD told the truth.
Yeah.
What I said was, if he can sit here and do an interview and tell the truth, why the fuck he ain't in jail for killing Tupac? I don't give a fuck if he didn't shoot. Let me stop cussing. I don't care if he wasn't a shooter. Shit, Allah, if you commit a crime and I'm with you, we both go to jail for the same thing, right?
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
Oh yeah. Yeah. If I knew you,
if he can sit there and tell a story and be specific as to where he was sitting and who passed his gun to who, why is everybody asking who killed Tupac? I mean, who killed Tupac? KPD just told y'all.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Now, the only reason why he's saying that, shit, his nephew dead. Now, he ain't got to worry about no repercussions. Maybe the hood, nigga, you put it out there, that's telling.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, I mean, no, that's what I said, man.
Okay. Thanks. I just want you to clear it up. And he acknowledged. He said thanks for the clarification.
All right.
Yeah. People in the war took place. I'll just ask a question. You can just kind of talk about it briefly. They want to know, can you just kind of verify or say that it was a war after the Vegas shooting in Compton between the South and the mob or the looters?
It wasn't war or it was?
They just want to verify it. Either it was or wasn't. You can speak on it. I don't want to put words in your mouth because they always said I do that. And you may not call it a war. You may call it something else.
No, okay, everybody got to understand. We already got a beef with Southsides because we Bloods, they Crips. So it's already bad blood there. When the Death Row thing got involved and the Biggie and the Tupac came into our situation, it made things more heated. The drive-bys and the I'm going to kill this whoop, I'm going to kill that whoop, it just intensified our situation. So even when Tupac got killed, that just elevated it to, okay, they killed Tupac. We got to go whoop, whoop, whoop. You know what I'm saying? How we look if we let that go. So, yeah, you had some trying to get backs and all that other shit, and from both sides. But, yeah, if you want to call it a war, yeah, it was a short, brief one.
JMX, I don't know. I don't know the number counts. I just know it was 13 gunshot victims and 3 people got killed. I don't know which side they were, if they were on the Blood side or the Crip side.
No, it wasn't. It was not side.
Okay, so it must was the South side.
It was not side.
Okay,
Trust me.
Yeah. Okay.
James, did you ever see Orlando after the Vegas stuff before he passed?
No. He died how he lived, man. Like I said, the little guy was with the business, meaning he was into it. He was in it. He was a little crip dude that trying to get his money, and he died trying to get his money. But no, I didn't see him after that.
Mr. Foreman, Trayvon is, as I know, he's out of town in Cleveland or somewhere like that. He's just doing this thing. He's doing some music stuff, so that's why we haven't talked to him yet. But I'm still talking to him. It's a possibility he may be on in the near future. But Trayvon,
what is your thing just playing at?
Huh?
Is this L.A.?
What are you talking about?
This what we doing right here. This radio
no,
station.
it's all over.
It's worldwide.
On the YouTube. On YouTube, you'll be able to view it online.
Oh, I don't want. I'm cool, man. I don't like to hear myself talk, man.
Okay.
But yeah, it definitely was a learning experience. It stopped a lot with me. Fathers the game banging and all that. Like I said, after my brother was killed, I didn't have no other reason for it. It was time to cut it. I grieve different from the rest of these cats. How they, I truly believe that, we defeated the purpose of doing what we was doing, and we wound up getting killed by our own. That wasn't part of the game. I didn't sign up for it, but it happened, and I made a choice. My choice was to leave. When people say Mob James or Mob, I cuss them out. Don't call me that. Okay. My name is James, and they can have Mob James. They can revoke that name. That name don't mean nothing to me no more. You ain't gonna come to me. I mean, we gonna have a problem. It ain't free. I ain't giving up nothing for free. I don't give a fuck how old I am. I ain't giving up nothing for free. So, I just say that I lost way more than all these other cats. Mm-hmm. And all these other cats. Buntry was my brother. Harron was my brother. Like, knew him for years. Mm-hmm. Hen Dog lived with me. He lived with me. He couldn't claim the hood without going to school. People ain't gonna understand that, but you ain't gonna sleep in here all day. You're gonna get up and go to school. And that's how I did a lot of the little homies. But he lived there. When he died, it hurted like it was ouching all over again. And I was just tired. I was exhausted from it. Would I do it all over again?
Yeah. And for those y'all don't know who Hen Dog is, he's the gentleman that drew the first original Death Row logo. The first original Death Row logo.
So
yeah. Hey, a big supporter of ours, a guy named Kenneth McLean. You might already ask this, but he wrote it, so I want to answer it for him. He said he already said that. He wanted to ask Mob James, okay, did anybody see, did you see Keepy D or knew it was Southside right after the shooting? And he already acknowledged that you might have already answered it, but he came on late, I think.
Well, my first, when I seen him at 662 and they left, and we put two and two together. I had to put two and two together. You got to be a dummy not to put two and two together. You just beat up Orlando. Now you just get shot at. Yes, Keepy D and them. They was here. Now they over there. Now y'all beat him up. Now Tupac dead. Yeah. We had our sit down, and everybody came to that agreement, that understanding. That was them. Yeah, and from what they homeboys talked about it, it's in the street. Orlando done got they top dog, they money man. And it was all kind of rumors out there. Not only what we knew, but what they was saying. He was bragging about it. Mm-hmm. I see a video where they say he say nothing, But if everybody look at that video, when he had the lawyer sitting next to him, he couldn't answer the question. But I mean, he did what he was supposed to do. He got to talking to the damn police. So it was what it was. But yeah, we knew it was them, man. We knew it was them.
Yep. Thanks, Mr. Foreman. I appreciate that, what you said about Pops. I appreciate that, bro. Just wanted to acknowledge that.
I got one here.
Well,
go ahead,
Mr.
Reggie.
Bonello, you say why wasn't Orlando killed by a Crip and not the mob? Because after the raids, so everything pretty much got squashed.
From a gang member to another one, it ain't like he wouldn't. They wouldn't seeking out to get him. It ain't like he wouldn't. People weren't trying to get him.
Yeah. They don't even know that he moved to Lakewood after. When he knew that he was on, he left it.
Everybody knew his face. Everybody know who he is. So if people would have saw him, they would have got him.
Yeah.
That's the only reason why it didn't happen that way. But people probably don't even know how he got killed. So that was his demise. Maybe it wasn't meant for the mob to catch him, but other people paid for it, and that's the cold part about it. That's the cold part about it. Other people paid for it. Other people's BS.
Yeah. Go ahead. I'm sorry, John. I cut you off. Go ahead and answer the question you want to ask Mob.
Do you happen to have any sort of relationship, or were you ever cool with DJ Quick when he was up at Death Row, James?
Yeah. Well, DJ Quick is a blood. Yeah, he always been good. Do we hang out and kick it? No, I don't. Like I said, I ain't the groovy type. I ain't the type. Okay, the homie doing this. Oh, that's his thing. But for the homie, yeah, he's good. He DJ Quick.
Okay.
Yeah, he never hung out and kicked it. They were younger than me.
Do you have a favorite story of any discussions or hangouts? The people want to ask this. They asked a bit earlier, and we got sidetracked a little bit. But they want to know if you have a favorite story or a favorite memory of you and Tupac together at any time.
Las Vegas. We was gambling, and we was playing blackjack, and I'm watching him help Rage. He sliding, and he telling her how to bet. So at the same time, I'm losing while he doing this. So I get mad and like, damn, I start cussing, and the people telling me to stop cussing. And he spoke up for me. It's like, we spending money, and you gonna tell us we grown? So they was like, okay, calm down. And he slid me a few $100. They said, get your gamble on, but I got to get away from you. You're going to get me in trouble. And I sat there. When he disappeared, put the money in my pocket, I went the other way.
That's Mob James. Let me tell y'all about Mob. Mob was the one that used to sit at the door. And so, I kind of read, the club, at the security at the door. But Mob was the one that was kind of really running shit. So he go outside and get in line. And he look for all the ballers. If you had $1,000, he'll let you in. He'll bring him up like, Reg, just one of the homies. Let him in. Boy,
hey,
you should have seen the
security.
So mad.
Hey man, it's 662. That night that happened, I was catching them. And then the cool thing about that is, Too Short. I was sending these 15 cats, and they was charging like mugs. So I was charging. Okay, I ain't gonna charge y'all $75, but this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna charge y'all $50 a head, and yeah, bring the two girls. I'll let one of them in free, but everybody else pay. I was killing him, and then Too Short came, and I'm Too Short. Man, I don't give a damn who you is, and he got mad. So I guess he had told Suge or whatever the case was, and Suge come over there, woo, 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 me, nigga. And okay, well, he doing his job. Okay, so he went on there with Suge. And the moral of the story is, man, I was making a killing at that dope.
I know you were.
I was taking it to the back.
They were so jealous.
I made so much money at that. But that was my way of doing me.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? You know, I mean, like I said, everybody wasn't getting paid the same amount or the same nothing. So a lot of guys had their way of doing what they had to do, like with Snoop Dogg trial. Suge told me to bring 15. I brought 9. But I was getting paid for 15.
Mm.
And I made my money. I made my money. Once that was over, I was out. You ain't got to worry about me. You ain't got to call me. Don't call me and say, I need your help. None of that. He couldn't get that. Mm-hmm. And I was done.
For people that may
Jerome
hear
Bailey,
this...
you keep asking me about Eugene Deal. In fairness to Eugene Deal, I don't know much about him. I never met him. The only thing I don't know about him is whatever you all know about him on the interviews. Greg Kadings, you can go back and listen to the Greg Kadings interview. He talked about the inconsistencies of Eugene Deal, but other than that, that's all I know about him. So it's not that I'm ignoring you. I just don't know much about him, bro.
Mm-hmm. James, let me ask you this real quick. Sorry to interrupt, Reggie, but just in case people pick this apart, James, you know how you say after the Snoop trial you were done? If somebody says, well, if he was done, how is he at working 662 of the night the Tupac shooting happened? Just so people don't, have a clear idea of how the relationship was between you and Suge. Can you elaborate on that a little bit more to where, you were done after the Snoop trial, but you would still do certain things here and there?
I would still do that. Like when they had certain events, I went to them. I was there. If I'm at the event, Suge with Mob, I need you to get this door. Mob, I need you to watch these people right in for me. Stuff like that. I did that. Okay. I was getting paid for it. He was gonna pay me for it.
Right.
What I mean by when I was done, there was no more attachments. There was no more kicking it at the office. There was no going out of town. There was no. We didn't roll together.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Everything that happened in town, I came to it. Okay. Mind you, my brothers are there. Mm-hmm. When 662 had the big thing, man, I had my sisters, my mother, my uncles. I had everybody. We had our family there. Yeah. All of them was there. So when they were out at the fight, I didn't want to go to the fight. It wasn't going to last long. I didn't want to go to the fight. All the money was at 662. Mm-hmm. So that's where I'm gonna run this right here. Y'all gonna do y'all thing, and that's what I did. So it was just a lot of situations that led up to that. Man, I'm tired of this shit.
Yeah.
Mob James got tired of touching people that didn't need to be touched. Mob James got tired of fighting for somebody that wasn't gonna fight for themselves. Like I said earlier, man, we sat back and fought 9 rounds. Fought the football team for this dude. And they bigger than us.
About 90, 91. He talking about, y'all got to remember, he going back to getting devil.
No, I'm just saying, no, what I'm just saying everything that leads up to me being me and saying I'm done with this. I'm tired of this. Mm-hmm. At the Snoop Dogg shit, that's when I'm just like, I can't do that type of shit. I'm not a part of this no more. Did I participate? Yes, I did. But I'm not a part of this. My brother and them was a part of it. Alton stayed there. Timmy didn't. I didn't. Mm-hmm. And a lot of other cats didn't. But they stayed there.
Yeah, Timmy Root came back after Suge was in jail, and
he came back because of the money. Okay, he ain't doing nothing. Once again, all of these guys that was on death row payroll has never had a job, a real job, a legit job. And this was a way of stop doing all the other BS that was sending everybody to the penitentiary. That's why it went the way it went, because you didn't have nothing else. Not them, we didn't have nothing else. So I mean, it was what it was.
Yeah. Shamu 210, Shamu or Shaman 210, was Young Noble officially an outlaw while Pac was alive? Yeah, Young Noble came around right when the first time he was around, but the first time I seen him rap or do anything was the night of the House of Blues showing when Fatal got in trouble. He rapped Fatal lines that night, and so I guess that was July 4th, July 3rd, July 4th of '96. So from that point on, is when Noble was I guess starting to rap. To answer that question.
I got a random question, Reggie. Remember when the Two Gangster for Radio CD came out, and there was some pictures in the back of the booklet? There was one of Tupac, and then there was the letter that that Snoop had wrote to Suge. People have asked this before, and I always say that I'm going to remember to ask you, and I always forget to ask you. But people want to know a little bit about that picture, the photo that's in the back there. Do you know which one I'm talking about? Do you happen to remember that?
I remember doing something like that, and back then we was dissing, so I'm sure it was some type of diss of Tupac.
Mm-hmm.
But in fairness, I don't remember.
It looked like a house party or some shit. That's why. Yeah, that's the only reason I asked.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I have to go back and remember that. I mean, we'll review that to be refreshing on that. Let's see. Something I had saw before you asked me that question. I want to ask.
My bad. The question's coming really
fast.
Why
you keep calling me about, Reg?
Huh? I don't know. Did I let have it? I always called you that.
I've been knowing you since you was a pup, and it's okay. Yeah. But come on, man.
You asked not to be that, so I'll try not to.
I'm far from that, man.
Yeah, I got you. I had told the story once before. I don't know if people remember when I told them that when I was in so deep with Suge, you the one that kind of told me, watch it. And you told me to get away. To be honest,
watch it.
Yeah.
Because it was so much, and everybody, I ain't talked about now story, no out of town stories. I ain't talked about how. I can't stand a dude that beat up women. If I call you a bitch nigga and you don't fight me, then you shouldn't go home and fight your wife, your girlfriend, or whatever. I couldn't stand that. Man, we got history, we got stories, man, and we ain't gonna put it all out here like that. But it was a lot of things that I didn't like about Death Row. But I didn't have a choice because that Death Row is what I had at the time. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. My son, I think at the time when I went to prison and came home, was 2 years old, and I didn't have too much of nothing.
Yeah.
It put food on his table, it fed him, it kept him clothed. It was what it was. Man, the benefits. Hell yeah, nothing but women. The partying, shit I like to do, the fighting. We enjoyed all of that. All of that was good. But then it turned into something else. And this is what a lot of people don't understand is they man, it's hard to explain. And I ain't never bit my tongue. And I don't want to bite my tongue now, but I don't want to say the wrong thing here. Mm-hmm. I enjoyed the bullshit till the bullshit started smelling. Put it like that. It stank. It was time to go. Just like all the artists, all the people that wanted to be on Death Row, the treatment, the way they were treated, some of that shit, I didn't like it. But if you get a man standing in the room and you offer, man, get in the middle of the floor and handle your business then, and he declined, which some of them, it was the right thing to do. I'm not finna fight this cat, and I got 15 of you dudes standing around me. If I take him, y'all gonna take me. But man, that's the price you gotta pay. Go on and get me, man. But I'm not finna go out like that. And a lot of cats didn't want to deal with that. a lot of people, a lot of females didn't want to deal with that. You know, a female couldn't say nothing if somebody grabbed her private part. I didn't like that. And, you know, some of the homies are Suge or my brother. Man, why are you tripping? Man, I got morals. I was a damn gangbanger opposed to the gangbanger / security guard. I wouldn't I'm finna rape your mama, your girlfriend, and I wasn't that dude. I wasn't that dude. So a lot of them didn't understand it. A lot of them did understand it. The ones that understood it got away from it. Or didn't want to deal with it, or didn't want to show up to certain functions. But, I mean, Death Row was more than what all you people see. And I'm still paying for half of the things that happened from Death Row. And after my brother was killed, I'm still paying for that. So people don't know what I'm living. I try to move on and move on. My first step was to, when these cats start saying I'm revoked, no one can revoke me but me. So I say they can have Mob James. I'm James. I don't need to be Mob James. I'm too old to be a fucking gangbanger at this point. I'm tired, and I just want to be left alone. I just want to do me. And I keep getting these. After the first interview I did, man, I was getting so many phone calls and so many offers. No.
Yeah.
But then it's like, James,
well,
you sitting
tell
here.
Tell them why you doing this one. You just you tell them.
Well. I mean, to be honest, I wouldn't have did this if it wasn't you.
Yeah.
As if it wasn't you. My family has a long history with your family.
Yeah.
Your grandmama and granddaddy was like our grandmama and granddaddy on the block.
Yeah.
You know, Mr. and Mrs. Wright was, when he walked to the store, shit, we followed him.
Yeah.
Make sure he was all right.
Yeah.
You know? So, I mean, if I wouldn't be talking if you didn't ask me, would I talk and try to clear some of these things up with other people?
Yeah.
And my point is, if I do that, people don't listen. Everybody gonna think what they want to think anyway. So I got tired of that.
Yeah.
I got tired of that. And then I went up and I watched them do this video when they're doing the video of Poochie, his death scene. When I got there and saw that, I tried to say, I was talking to Bone, and I was telling him that ain't how it happened. And my thing is, if people don't tell it exactly like how it happened, then they don't need to tell it. And that's why you're getting all these conflicted stories, because they got so many different ways of showing it. And his thing to me was, well, certain things we might get sued. Well, if you think you're going to get sued, don't do it, because it's not the truth.
Yeah, let me cut him off right there. And what he's talking about is on the Unsolved, the Greg Hades thing, Unsolved, the documentary, the program on USA. And Bone is the guy that was got ran over when Terry Carter got killed in the incident with Suge Knight. That's what he's speaking on Bone.
I wouldn't go in. I just put his name out there.
Yeah.
If you come talking to me and just say what you call him said, who the fuck is what you call him? If what you call him said it, you don't tell me.
Yeah.
Who is what you call him? So I try to use names because the truth don't hurt. Yeah. I ain't saying nothing I can't say to that person.
Yeah.
So if you're not gonna do this story or tell the story the way it's supposed to be, then why should I get up here and say something? They're not gonna believe me. Because the story done been told 300 times.
Yeah.
Who am I?
Yeah, John Calloway, you I don't know if you're trying to throw a disc or what, but when you saying why a local gangbanger is cool with a local cop, I gotta understand. And he explained it in just saying that I grew up with Mob James and we're like family, And so
before you was a police.
Exactly. So
now let me ask him. If he was on the other side of the fence, he was a blood and his cousin was a Crip, do you go kill your cousin? Fuck no. That's blood is thicker than water. No, that's family. Man, I don't see that type of. I just
like the answer because they throw that out and then they keep running with that and keep throwing that up. And when
right,
we just shoot it down. And then
I ain't got to shoot down. I mean, check that ass.
Yeah.
No, it ain't like that.
Okay. Let's see. We have got some good ones in. Mr. going through that bullshit one.
Well, I mean, shit, you ain't gonna get it clean all the time.
I know. We got you in the talking to move, and so we trying to hang on to you until you tell us you gotta go.
Yeah, you so do. But I mean, when I get into it,
yeah.
I mean, it is what it is. I swear to God to everybody, it is what it is. And a lot of this shit, I don't blame other people. I blame myself. And everybody got to blame and take credibility for the shit that they did and how they got down. Me, ain't nothing. I ain't glorifying me. My shit was fucked up. I regret a lot, and I can't fix none of it. But I can change, and I'm totally different from all that other bullshit. It ain't going down. So, I mean, the truth is the truth. Man, I ain't mad at it. And man, I get started, boy. Y'all be like, man, this dude right here. I was there.
Yeah.
I know. Half of the shit that happened, I was the lean reader. I took responsibility for that. But Suge didn't what you call him. Suge wasn't a fucking man. Why I don't got millions of dollars? Because I didn't use my thug skills and get at him and tie his ass up and demand my money. I didn't do that. I let shit happen, and then when other people came in, it was just a conflict of interest. Everybody was out trying to get their own, and then when the people start falling, it was time to go. It was time to get out of there.
Yeah, and that did happen, and that was the problem with us, with the divide and conquer shit, and playing everybody against each other. Yeah.
And nobody are friends right now today. You got some of them still kicking and hang, but come on, man. I mean, me, you can't forget the dead. You can't forget nobody you lost, because I mean, this one is dear to me. And the way that their lives was took, it's like, man, how is people to be mad? What are motherfuckers mad at and want to point out names and all this other shit? They ain't lost their brother. They didn't lose their little cousin. They didn't lose their close homeboys. They didn't lose their homie that set and fought 5 motherfuckers and it's just us two back to back. I broke bread with these dudes. I know they was 100. So all these other people, they talking and saying this and want to be Suge Knight fans, y'all lost your mind. Y'all on the outside looking in and you're hearing what you want to hear. But, man, we made that cat. We made that cat what he was. And his true colors came out when we were gone. You see what he was. People doing what they wanted to do to him. And look at him in jail now. He's a fucking circus clown. So, I mean, they just got to do the math on their own. My story and nobody else's story is going to help these people understand. Suge Knight was a cold piece. A cold piece. I remember I did an interview with Chris Blanchard. And this is right when Alton was killed. And these people were talking about they wanted to get my little brother. Here I am, the oldest. I am my brother's keeper, so that's not finna happen. So instead of Suge coming to see me and talk to me, I had to go to the television to tell this dude to leave my family alone. Stay the fuck away from my family. You can have the neighborhood. If these dudes accept you, cool. You can have that. I'm gone. Just stay away from my family. Don't come to my mom's and be lying to my mom's. Don't tell my mom's you put a headstone on my brother's gravesite, which he didn't. Don't tell my mom's his son gonna be all right when my nephew lost his car and everything. We had to go get it because of all this dude lying. You know, you hear Danny Boy, you hear everybody that was with Suge. He want money back. He want cars back. Hold up, you gave me this. But when he went to jail, he wanted everybody's shit back. Man, F this dude. This dude ain't, I mean, he wouldn't get nothing from me, but he knew he asked these cats. And these niggas is thugs. What the fuck is y'all doing? And the only one I say, Rock Chisholm was the only one, nigga, I ain't giving you nothing back. Rock Chisholm went downtown L.A., got him a fake pink slip, and sold it. He the only one said, nigga, come get it. But what story is this? Come on, man, how did this dude regulate all these thug niggas and had them eating out the palm of his hand? That's because all these thug niggas are hungry and didn't know no other way and was just happy by getting a check. Yeah. And didn't have to hit no corners, didn't have to hop no gates to get it. I'm getting paid to beat up people. I love that. I can do that all day. And that's how they live, and that's why they stayed.
Yeah. The comment from WAC 100 that's on here.
From who?
WAC 100. We ain't gonna talk about it, but let me see if this is really him, because it might not be him. But WAC, text me if that's really you, dog. Because me and you did talk earlier today, so I know you know how to get a hold to me. So
what was his question?
No, it might not be him. And if he texts me, then I'll ask you. I'll see if he want me to ask you. If not, we'll talk about it later. But let me see, because some people be taking people names and it don't be them.
Is that right?
Yeah, so we'll see. He'll text me if it's him. All right. I don't think it's him, though. John, you see anything, baby?
Let's see.
John?
Yeah, I guess here's one that came in from I don't know the name, but they want to know if you had any sort of relationship with Harry O in the early days of Death Row, James.
No. He's from a different neighborhood. His game was totally different from mine. And when he went to the feds, no.
Okay.
But I got family from over there in the projects, and I know of him, but no.
Okay.
JMX, I want to ask this last question of you. You asked, was Kevin Lewis actively snitching? I don't think Kevin Lewis was. Well, he was cooperating unknowingly because he was an assault victim, and I think they were interviewing him for the assault when he got jumped at the back of the studio. Whether he was snitching, I don't know, but the whole get down was for them to do an abatement, was like a public nuisance against us at the studio to try to get rid of us after the shooting in Vegas, because all the white folks in Tarzana were scared, which, I can't say I blame them, but that's what was going on with LAPD and Tarzana. They were creating stuff to get rid of us out of the studio, which we were planning on vacating anyway.
Here's one, James. Did any of the people in the so-called homeboy security have any beef or friction with people in the dog pound camp? Because there are kind of two sides at the label. There was the Crip side and
who?
Between like the dog, Snoop, Daz, the people that were around the dog pound people. Was there any beef amongst cliques within Death Row, whether it be Suge's homies and the Crip side or anything like that? Somebody asked a question about that, so I wanted to fit that in.
I'm not trying to understand. Did we? Who is it that we don't like? We at each other, the dog pound and the...
Yeah, he just trying to say what was the relationship between the homies and the dog pound. If you can just kind of explain the relationship.
To me, I think the dog pound stood their grounds.
And when you talk about dog pound, they talking about the whole crew, Trey D, all of them, not just Daz and Corrupt.
Well, the only ones that I remember is Daz, Corrupt, and Snoop. I didn't deal with that light-skinned cat with the which one? Yeah, I never dealt with him. But I think those cats was cool, and they were only there to get their money and make music. Was it interrupted at times? Yeah. behind half of Suge bullshit and other bullshit that some of the homies was giving him, which Suge should have separated that shit because this is money.
Mm-hmm.
But by him being let's say a fucking weenie, he didn't want to tell the homeboys to check themselves. He didn't want to tell certain people this is business, that you ain't got nothing to do with that type of shit. You know what I'm saying? And that's what separated us, because Suge didn't understand that aspect of the game. It was just all thrown in one jar. Now, can you be mad at Daz and Corrupt for wanting their money? No, you can't be mad at them. Can you be mad at them or go want to get at them because he's suing them? No, Suge owe them. You should pay him. Business is business. No, I never had an issue with none of them. Like I said, after Snoop, man, I mean, still a cool cat to me. And everybody that was on death row had to deal with death row security. Was it good at all times? Did death row security, all these gangbangers and all these thug ass niggas, was they humble? No. So they had to put up with a lot of shit. And mind you, Daz and them is Crips. All the Suge security is Bloods.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I think that Suge realized he had to bring in and raise them to kind of like water the shit down. Because, those guys couldn't work sometimes under those conditions. It wasn't always good. Everybody always had something to say. It was nothing but just a lot of bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
And, those guys wanted to leave. You can't blame them for wanting to leave. You can't blame Daz and Corrupt or Snoop for saying F Suge or they hate Suge or fuck Death Row. They ain't by themselves. I say fuck Death Row right now. And fuck Suge. I can tell you that, and I can tell Suge that.
Oh, yeah. You have on many occasions.
Many, many occasions.
I heard it.
So, I mean, I'm right there where they at. I feel the same way. So, man, can't nobody be mad at those guys for what they saying.
Mm-hmm.
All of them feel the same way. They just expressing their feelings a little bit different than I am.
Right.
But we on the same page. Fuck Suge. Fuck Death Row.
Hey, Supreme.
If I had another record company or another chance to go to and do it different or turn it around, I would. Because at the beginning, Suge couldn't take a picture. He couldn't do an interview. No, you don't need to do that. You don't need to show your face like that.
Mm-hmm.
Next thing I know, he got on a big ass red suit with a big cigar. Why you do that?
On the cover of a magazine, the New York Times. That was the
Now it's time to let him go do his thing.
I still feel it was a big mistake. I want to give Supreme, ask him, because he's been asking good questions all night, and I haven't asked one of his questions. And he just want to know, Mob, what is your favorite hamburger stand in Compton?
I ain't telling him. I might have to go there one day. Louis Burgers.
Yeah, that's what I'm about to say. Bullets.
Tell him if he ever what you call him. Get that chili cheese fries.
Chili cheese fries, the best chili in town.
Chili cheese fries with lettuce and tomatoes with some pastrami meat.
Yeah.
Boy, how you full?
And have your cholesterol up too, but it's good.
I ain't worried about none of that.
Yeah. So Supreme, yep. Louis Burgers. There's two of them in Compton. They started branching out. I seen one over by the airport, but I think that one closed down right off the 405 freeway. But Louis Burger, there's one in Compton and Willowbrook. That's the original one. Then they built one in our hood because the Crips or the Bloods didn't really want to go over there. And actually Compton and Alameda, I'm sorry. And then the other one is on Bullis and on Rosecrans. It's called Louis Burger.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody said Hawkins Burgers. You ever heard of Hawkins Burgers?
Oh, man, the Hawkins, that's across the street from the projects. Oh, boy. Man, I used to eat them back in the days in the 80s, man. And I stopped going because if you don't get robbed, you're going to get killed trying to get a burger over there. But they got some bomb. Right now today, they still got some bomb food over there.
Anybody remember Stops that's out there? Hey, you remember Stops? That was where the Death Trap was. right at Imperial. It's right across from the Nickerson Gardens, Imperial and Central. Oh my God, there was so many homicides at that location.
It's all over now.
Yeah, but they done knocked it down. Yeah.
James, what was your reaction when you saw the video of the Suge running over and all that stuff? Like, did it surprise you at all, or you knew it was coming at some point?
You know, I wasn't shocked, but it was like, wow, the guy that he killed. You know, a lot of people love that dude.
Mm-hmm.
That dude took care of a lot of people, and you know, I can honestly say, you know, a scared man ain't paying attention. He ain't paying attention. He can't pretend that long on being that dude or with the business or whatever. And it just showed. If you saw, I mean, just looking at that video, man, Suge was scared, but it cost him. And I think karma is a motherfucker. Now you got all these other people. Now you have experience taking a man's life, and he don't want to pay for it, which he got to pay for it. And I say, regardless of the circumstances, man, you know, you can't talk to people, you can't promise people, you can't push shit out there the way he was putting shit out there or demanding anything. You don't have those people no more. So you're not talking to no buster. You're not talking to a weenie. And I was more mad than anything because he took somebody that everybody liked, everybody loved. Mm-hmm. You know, a good cat, and you know, that was in his get down. So I was pretty upset.
Okay.
People want somebody I missed his name because I went away from it, but he wanted to know what you thought of Big Jake. And did Big Jake he claim Campanella or did he claim West Side?
No, he was from the West Side.
Okay, yeah, that's what I thought. West Side. Yeah, they Campanella, but they.
But Big Jake, man, this what I know about Big Jake, man. He was a big old boy, big old young man, and he had some nice size, but he had a head on his shoulder. He was witty, and you know, still a lot of people ain't looking at the big picture. Don't worry about me. Stop speaking on me. Listen to this. When Jake went out of town with this dude, Jake was already getting his money. What I said I should have did to Suge, Jake was getting his money, but in the right way. I'm not doing this for free. And he wanted his money. And he wanted to get paid. Now, he goes out of town by himself with this dude and get into an altercation. Now, this is me. Why the fuck he didn't come back and Suge came back? But when I put that out there to the homies, when I told the homies, and this has been going on for a minute when I was on them and telling them, y'all, look at the picture, man. We ain't getting what we supposed to get. Here this nigga pulling up in the Benz. We pulling up in Cadillacs. And I'm talking about 1977 Cadillacs, 1964 Chevys. This is what you got your security looking like. Now, Jake out of town with him. He feared Jake. Now, Jake don't come back. Suge do. He should have been done then. Jake was a good dude. Jake was a good dude. This is what I'm trying to tell everybody. You know, all of these guys that died, we had our ways. Those dudes had their ways. They were gangbangers, so what? So what? Every time they fucked up, they went to the penitentiary. Let's say they paid for it. So why is this dude still here? Why is Suge still here? Why is everybody still praising Suge? Why is everybody crying that with these damn shirts, free Suge Knight?
Yeah. And just to piggyback on that, and then the way he played everybody against each other on that, he came back saying that Big Jake had Raymond Street tattooed on his chest, which was a Crip neighborhood.
Exactly, and they should have dealt with him. Well, no, his hood should have got him for disrespecting him like that.
Yeah, exactly.
I never liked
that.
He was a blood 100.
Yeah.
He was with the business. He fought the cause. Now, every cat in the penitentiary, every cat in his hood, and every cat he dealt with Jake. Everybody that came in contact with him know he was 100. And all these cats, everybody that was 100 got their name is smutted. Everybody that was 100, all of the leaders, the shot callers, everybody is foul or dead. Man, fuck Suge. Fuck Suge. He ruined a lot of cats. I can say Suge did a job that the police couldn't do. He got rid of a lot of top-notch niggas. And I say that again to the police and anybody else. Suge did their job for them. Ain't nothing to think about. Ain't nothing to contemplate on. Suge did it. I'm getting mad right now. That cat ruined a lot of cats. He ruined a lot of people, man. A lot of people. A lot of people is gone behind this dude. And for all these gangbangers that's on the air and listening to this shit, y'all dudes pay attention to all the homies that's gone behind this nigga y'all never knew. Y'all never knew him. And all these people is gone. But you're worrying about one person, it's Tupac. I ain't saying Tupac ain't part of the witch cult, but man, this is about the homies. All the homies is gone. Everybody that dealt with this boy is gone. And I ain't talking about just Compton niggas. I'm talking about L.A. Crips. I'm talking about L.A. Bloods. I'm talking about niggas that they don't even think are, man, you think Suge? Yeah, Suge. Yeah, Suge. If Suge was scared of you, he paid motherfucker. He did something. He did something. So all these people sitting there worrying about the wrong goddamn thing and worrying about this nigga life when you got over 20 motherfuckers dead. Imagine if them 20 was here. Half of them probably be in the penitentiary for going back to their old ways, where half of them, but the neighborhoods wouldn't be the way they are today. A lot of people, he changed everything. Suge Knight changed everything, man. He changed everything. He changed my life. He changed, I'm talking about, he changed everything.
And Nelson Hauser, you missing the point when he said he should have had $1 million. Just what he's trying to say is he was there from the beginning when Suge was putting 2 and 2 together. You know what I mean? So that's why he felt that he should have been entitled to a little bit more, because he was the one with him to push up on niggas, just like that he got the credit for. Easy wouldn't have signed that letter over if it was just Suge that showed up by himself or whatever. It was because of
Reg.
Yeah,
Reg.
Go ahead.
I don't want to interrupt you. What I was saying about that was when P. Miller supposedly gave all his guys $1 million to do what y'all gonna do. Yeah. I'm saying if Suge gave a F about how we was getting down and taking care of his people
because of what you
Suge
did.
was over.
Is what I'm saying,
because of where we got him. I think everybody was entitled, not me. I said everybody was entitled to $1 million and tell us to do what we got to do. Don't come back to me and ask me for no more money. But everybody should be able to live and do what they got to do off of that. That's what I meant by that. I ain't say.
And I want to disagree with everybody. I wanted to say that certain ones that were there from the beginning, the 4 or 5. I did a lot for sure, but I don't think I should have been entitled for the $1 million because by the time I came around, he was already rich and they was already doing things. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
But you paid the way. You were there when he was just rubbing quarters together to make $1 too. And
I was there when he was a fucking security guard for West.
Big West, yeah.
So when West told us to come on the tour, the Budweiser Superfest tour, we was scraping money together to roll.
And what tour he's talking about, y'all? He's talking about the Albie Shore and Bobby Brown tour.
Yeah.
Make them scream.
So,
the Scream tour.
I mean, he didn't have no money.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
When he got his money, with whatever he did with Jerry Heller when we went to Ruthless Records, whatever he got from there, didn't nobody get no cut on that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You got Michelin and Dre.
Yeah.
Now you making money.
Yeah.
Now you got a baby by her. Now you married to her. When I'm a benefit from it.
Yeah.
But that's my fault because I allowed it to happen.
Exactly.
That's my fault that I didn't ask for no motherfucking money.
And I brought that up just to responding to somebody that.
Yeah, I just don't want nobody to get me twisted and be like that I'm pissed off because this. Man, I'm trying to tell you, if I can go back, I'm sitting here and I can honestly say, if what I should have did back then, but I didn't do that. It's too late. But I'm a fucking idiot just like the rest of them. And I didn't get nothing. Nothing. The only thing I got out of that is to bury my fucking brother. And a lot of coochie.
Yeah.
That's it.
Hey, Young Loke, do you know what Loke stands for? Or are you just an out-of-towner? But anyway, you stand Free Suge Knight regardless, and you think Free Suge shouldn't be in jail. Yeah, we don't really want to. I personally don't want to see Suge in jail, no matter how I feel about him. I hate to see anybody in jail, really, now being, on this side, not being in law enforcement. There's some people that deserve to be in jail, but, for what Suge did that day, I really believe it was fear, like Mob pretty much alluded to. It's unfortunate that Terry Carter got caught up in that situation because he was taking care of a lot of people, but I don't want to see Suge to be convicted for murder, to be honest. But it's funny to see a Loke saying that about Suge, but I don't think you know what Loke means.
Well, I think karma's a motherfucker. I think that all the shit that man been into and gotten himself into, that at some point he's gonna be accountable for it. Yeah, you got away with all of this other shit. You got away with all these shit with these women and all this other shit, and then you get caught up in this. To me, he lucky as fuck. But oh well, I'm not his judge or jury. So whatever he get, he ain't calling my family and asking nobody to witch guard him. So I'm cool. Yeah. I don't. If he do, if he don't, I ain't tripping. It don't matter to me.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna sit here and man, I hope he get out of jail, or I don't want to see him in jail. I'm not gonna give you no bullshit.
Yeah, no, we wouldn't have to get you. Hey, Kenneth McLean, you said that you read in Quincy Jones' book that they said Big Jake was an executive for Def Jam. No, that's not true. What Big Jake was doing was Suge pretty much allowed him to manage DJ Quick somewhat, but not really. But he really had Second to None, a group, I forget the name of the song that they had hot, that he was really pushing and that he was allowing them to manage.
And he didn't get his money for it.
Yeah. And then, but DJ Quick was signed to Profile Records. I don't know where Quincy Jones got that from, but no, Big Jake wasn't an executive for Def Jam. Probably wish he was. And quite frankly, he was smart enough to have been. He was one of the homies that just didn't come up to the office and hang around, and he really was trying to come up there and work, and then hung out in the after hours. Big Jake would be there at 9 o'clock in the morning with the staff, and then be hanging out with us until 1 or 2 in the morning. That's the type of dude Big Jake was. But his main job was managing those two, and then he was helping out with a guy by the name of Kevin Black and B-Man with organizing the street teams is what Big Jake was doing. Y'all want Lay Legend, but Lay Legend a good supporter, but he just keep talking that Tupac's alive stuff, and if Lay Legend to get off that, he wouldn't be such a bad dude. But
I'm about to after that right now.
Yeah, we just can't deal with that Lay Legend. That's the only reason that we can't deal with you, man. Let's hear from our James about. Yeah, Jay Diner. He don't know no David Mack, and I don't know no David Mack. So I know you got to be on there to throw your little jabs, but okay, you got your little 15 minutes of fame. we called your name out, and so ha.
Man, I got so much on my plate, man.
Hey, Mark, right quick. They always talking about the Red Room. You got any stories on the Red Room? Or did you hear about the one? The one I liked was the time with Donzelli when he got caught taking the tapes up. If you know about that one,
no.
At the car wash. You hear about that one real quick?
No.
Yeah. See, Mob James, I gotta remember. I told you, Mob James wasn't around for all the bullshit.
You know what? I just wouldn't the groupie type of cat. I wouldn't that all that other stuff. I did have another life and doing other things. I wouldn't finish shit at the office 24 hours a day and do nothing. I didn't do that. Like I said, all mine was at the beginning, and when the shit started getting where it went, I was ready to go. I was ready. Oh Lord. So, man, I'm trying to pack my bags, man, to get back to Vegas, man. I'm burying my boy.
Condolences for that, man. Real condolences for that.
So I'm burying my son Saturday, and man, move on and keep it pushing.
No, we really appreciate you taking this time, man.
Anytime.
Yeah, so we'll probably hit you up after this Death Row Chronicle things come out, that little 3-day series, and just get some of your opinions on some of that stuff and what people talking about, if you don't mind.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no, I don't. Hit me up, Reg.
Okay, man. Appreciate you taking the time for us.
Yep.
All right, man. I enjoyed y'all.
Thank you, James.
Thanks, Mom.
100.
Yeah. You want to do some shout-outs, Reggie, before we close off?
Yeah,
thank some of these people.
Let's go to some of our loyal people and see if they got anything that they really want to ask me.
Okay.
Not so much Bob.
Right.
And I'll try to answer them right quick. I know we've been on long.
Yeah. I think this is one of the most interactive ones we've had, where people are asking questions and whatnot. So I want to thank everybody that joined in and got to listen to that. It went a lot longer than I thought it would, but it was worth it for sure.
I'm trying to scroll down here and go through them right quick.
Okay.
Space-Time Theory. Who is Tata Lake? Tata Lake is a dude from San Diego. He came around when I was pretty much running stuff. At the end, he brought CJ Mack, that song that we did, kind of like Diss and Dre. What was it on? Was it on Chronic 2000 or was it on that?
That was Two Gangster for Radio. Yeah,
Two Gangster for Radio.
Yeah.
He also did some agency work with the San Diego dude. What's that boy name? Reggie Bush got that dude in trouble with San Diego when he gave some money to him and all of that. So that's who Tata Lake is. He's also managing a producer right now. Currently, what's that boy name? He do a lot of stuff on Chris Brown and stuff. I know his name better than mine, but I can't think of it right now. But that's who Tata is. Space-Time Theory. Tommy Creed, disgruntled government informant. I don't know what that's about. Oh man, Jay Geiner, boy, you own one about the David Mack stuff, huh? All right, we'll just ignore you.
There's a couple of them that were just out of control tonight.
Really seems like a cold dude. Thank you, Machiavelli Writer. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but it sounds good to me. I'll take it in a positive way, so I appreciate it, bro. Mike White, appreciate the nice comments you made today. Kenneth McLean, always. Love your research ability, man. You're a real smart guy.
Big Dog or B Dog, he asked some good questions.
Eric Beando said the Feds is on here. That's good. Maybe they can get the truth and hear what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
But everybody know what I did. I ain't never hid from what I did. So if that was a jab at me, thank you.
They want to know if you're gonna. They're asking here if you're gonna debate RJ. I guess they want to.
That ball is in RJ court. But as long as RJ is not speaking bad on me, I won't be speaking bad on him. But that ball is in RJ court, so y'all stay on RJ head about that. Let's see, but like I said, y'all gotta understand, I'm not good for a debate. I'm just a question and answer type guy because only thing I can do is say no, that's not true, or yeah, that's true, or this is my take on it.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll be kind of interesting how we'll be able to do it. Let's see. Well, I guess I done kept y'all on here long enough. Appreciate y'all. I was going to have Whack 100 on tomorrow, but it don't seem like he a big fan of you guys. So I don't think people want to hear it. And if that was him talking about Mob James, which I don't think it was him, I think somebody got his account or something.
Yeah, you can get any name on YouTube, so they probably just picked that name.
So I'll find out from him. I talked to him earlier today, and he was all down for it, but we'll see.
Holden, I know not a lot of people are a fan of Whack 100 on this channel, so.
Yeah, I know, but sometimes you got to hear it.
Yeah.
Most of y'all won't be a fan of Miles James right now because he didn't speak all that well on Pac or Suge, but he was truthful.
Mm-hmm.
I can't say anything that he lied about.
Yeah.
Outlaw Cody, appreciate your support, man. Big Dog 911, appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
Justin, I'm sure James will appreciate it. I'll let him know that you said what's up and you appreciate his thoughts. Did Pac do a Snoop diss song? No, Sharif, Pac didn't do a Snoop diss song because you got to remember they were only upset with each other for probably about 4 or 5 days is when Pac got upset with Snoop after the incident in the MTV Music Awards behind the interview that he did with Angie Martinez. I wonder if that interview ever got released online. That would have been a big interview.
What, with Tupac and Angie?
Yeah.
No, I made a little bit of a big deal about this because she's kind of been milking it for ever since it happened. She put out little pieces here and there and some of it in a book. But no, she's never put it out in its entirety, and she's always teased it for years, but never really fully.
Does she still work for that radio station?
I don't know. I don't think she does. Yeah. But she claims she owns that interview, that it's hers. So maybe one day we'll hear it. Reggie, did anybody take a photo of Tupac when he was in the hospital? And the reason I want to ask this, and people on the live chat will get what I'm getting at. There is a YouTube video that says the only picture of Tupac in the hospital after the shooting in Vegas, and it's very swollen and it's a bunch of tubes and stuff. So I don't know if it's true or not, but I think the person who did the channel said he got it from Timmy Rue. I'm not positive. I don't.
Timmy Rue wouldn't have been around. Timmy Rue came around after I took over.
Okay.
He came to my grandfather's funeral.
Okay.
He came to my grandfather's funeral, and I knew he was controlling the youngsters, the little, the guys that was, and that's when I needed people to go with me to the Source Awards, the Soul Train Awards, and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Mob James was always having, not Mob James, Buncher was always having a hard time coming up with guys, or if he came up with guys, it was always Timmy that got them.
Gotcha.
And so that's when me and Timmy got back real close, and I don't want to bring Timmy back around. So we talking about maybe 2000, 99. I know it was during the Broomfield trial is when my grandfather passed. I had to miss one of those days, and that's when I started back talking to Timmy.
Okay.
So that's when Timmy came back around.
Okay.
Now, Timmy was around in the beginning because I remember he was the one that was pretty much with me. And I don't know why he was there that night because he really wasn't there a lot then, but he was there that night of the Sam Snead incident because I remember him talking to me at Monty's, and he was kind of hanging out with me that night at Monty's, which was the night of the Snoop got acquitted on the murder case.
Okay. Everybody's telling me the picture is probably fake, so I just wanted to clear it up.
Timmy wouldn't have. Timmy definitely would. He I don't even think he was at the club that night, to be honest, or in Vegas.
Okay.
But no, Timmy wasn't one of the chosen ones like that then.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And like I said, the ones that was really around at that time were the ones that was kind of mentioned in the Live and Die L.A. If they were mentioned in the Live and Die L.A. song, those were the homeboys that was really around.
Mm-hmm.
That were the ones that always would have been somewhere with us.
Mm-hmm. Okay. You seen any?
Rolex Enterprise said wasn't Floyd Mayweather supposed to build Suge out? I think Suge put that out, hoping that, and even somebody might have even mentioned it. But I remember adamantly once Floyd won the fight, he started denying it. Because I was kind of happy when he won the fight. I was like, oh, okay, maybe he's going to give up Suge $10 million and put it up. But no, they wasn't cool like that. They wasn't cool like that. But that was probably people trying to, talk in between.
Mm-hmm.
Even though WAC 100 told me today that he had people that was willing to put up the money, but the courts and was putting a lot on them and wanted to dig into their business a lot, and so that's why people was kind of hesitant of putting the money putting the money up for him.
Was he around back in the day, or did he come later?
WAC came around about, really the realist is the one that brought him back around.
Mm-hmm.
He used to go with me on, as I call them, stunt missions. He used to go with us to different award shows and stuff like that, because there was a guy named Pooh Ryder that he was real close with at the time. I don't think they're that close anymore, but they were from the same hood out in the valley. It's a gang called Pacoima for Our Rules. And WAC was kind of one of the big shot callers out there, and Pooh Ryder brought him around. And he didn't really come back around and start hanging out with Suge until I was gone. And I left in 2000. I left in 2002, came back in 2004, and then left again and came back in around 2005, 2006. But by then the company was gone. It was just in bankruptcy then.
What's crazy is I don't even remember anyone telling me that you were back in 2004. Not that they should have.
Well, I didn't.
But you know what I mean?
Remember that's when I was dealing with Wide Awake. I was dealing with everything with Cox.
Oh, gotcha. Well, no, because the Wide Awake stuff was after 2009. But you came back when Suge went to jail for a minute, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I was helping doing the bankruptcy before it got sold.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I came back when he got on the parole violation. I came back for that year.
Yeah.
But I was dealing with everything from home.
Okay.
Cedric was,
that
was in
makes sense.
office, but I was just dealing with the business stuff.
Yeah. Because I always remember when Suge was locked up, we would get our checks every single month on time, like clockwork.
Right.
And then when he got out and that stamp wasn't there anymore, they would be later and later. I mean, we'd always get them, but they'd be late. They'd be
well, that was just him being mean. That's when in 2000 that he came home a different person in 2002. Was it 2002 or 2001?
2002, somewhere around there.
January 2001, I believe.
Okay.
And he was just upset.
Mm-hmm.
He was angry with the world, and he was, like I said, I had an office staff. I had people that was business minded, and he pretty much got rid of every last one of them, from the attorney on down, from Jeff Lowry, who's now the head attorney at Disney. That was our attorney that did all the paperwork, but everybody moved on and did well about themselves and moved on. And he got rid of everybody. I don't think nobody stayed around but Cedric, who was the person that answered the phone.
Yeah.
Cedric and probably you.
Everybody else. I want to say at the very, very end, literally the last check I got, and it was it was in 2005. I want to say it was pretty close right before the bankruptcy. I think, and I could be wrong, so I don't want to speak out of turn, but I want to believe that it was Butch, me,
Butch was still around,
and Ced had already gone. And I want to say whatever little artists he had that I don't even know who the artists were. I don't think B.D. Pablo was even still there. Could be wrong about that, but it dwindled down to 0 people. When I would do stuff, he would call me directly. Suge would call me directly and say, "Hey, post this on the website, or we're gonna do this later." And he would never follow through. But that just shows how there was no one there anymore. There wasn't an office. There was practically nothing.
Yeah, y'all tell me if there's any interest to ever talk to Demetrius Shipp Jr. Cavo just asked me a question about that. If there's the guy that played Tupac in the All Eyes on Me movie, I know his dad real well, Meech. I might can get him on.
Yeah, we should get him on.
Interest.
Yeah, talk
get
about.
Some interest. Can I get be some interest?
Yeah, he did the Toss It Up beat and all that. We could talk to him. That would be good. And his son. We can do both.
Okay. I'll try to reach out to Meese this week and see what we can get him on for next week.
Yeah. People ask what I did at Death Row. I just did the website
for later on
stuff.
this week, we're going to try to get the producer, Mario, from Death Row Chronicles to tell us what's coming up with that, what we can expect from that. I'm still on the fence about WAC 100.
Yeah, he might need to, might be
but like I said,
suited.
sometimes it's good to hear both sides.
Yeah.
And when he hear people responses, maybe he'll change up and say something, or he can explain why he feel the way he do.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I guess we better sign out because we done took up about 3 hours of people's
I know
time.
we're close to the 3-hour mark, but okay.
Okay.
Yeah, but definitely thanks to everybody who tuned in, and I gotta do my plug and ask you to subscribe while you're here. That way, if we do go live, like tonight, we went a little bit later than we normally would have started. So had you been subscribed, you would have gotten an alert. So if you enjoyed the show and you want to tune in to future ones, just hit the subscribe button, and we'll try to keep doing more and more of these. So, and as you see, we're getting better equipment, we're getting better at interacting. So we're just give us time, and we'll try to do the best job we can do. So that's all we can do.
All righty. Well, I appreciate you guys, all you guys, with y'all support and stuff like that. And like I said, I ain't trying to be Hollywood. We're talking. I'm just trying to give y'all good content. So if there's anybody y'all really want to see, I know a lot of people been saying Trayvon Lane. Mm-hmm. If anybody y'all want to see that's out there, let me know, and I'll try to make it happen.
Yep.
All right.
All right. Thanks, everyone.
All right. Thanks, guys.